So I'm now live on Facebook and on YouTube. So thank you very much. We have our live audience here on Microsoft Teams. Everyone is more than welcome to join us. We can have fun. There's always a link in the Facebook page or on the Instagram page if you want to come and join this group. So listen, thank you very much. Today has been mental. I had the friend at Handbox earlier on, and that was really, I suppose, really good. I mean, I've tasted all those whiskies before, but Bushmills whiskies, followed by some, for the independent bottlings of the Redbreast, Middleton Powers, and then with a special Dunville 20-year-old. But tonight it's all about gin. So it's all about gin, and it's about tasting the gins, all from Ireland, and obviously trying to explore that, making you think about them before you go and buy them potentially as well. So because we've got some interesting ones. All right, we're going to go in order. Number order, so we're going to go from 24 through to 1. There's a slight deviation in some of the boxes. The last bottling, number 1, some of you will have a different bottle to others. Okay, slightly different bottling to others. All right, and we will come on to that. Okay, some of you have a black label for number 1. Some of you have a green label, I think, for number 1. All right. Yeah. Okay. So number 24 though, okay, is Ninth Wave Gin. So for those that don't know, and if we're educating at this point, Ninth Wave Gin is from the Hinch Distillery guys. All right. So Balnahinch has its own distillery now, which is absolutely brilliant. Great to have something local on the doorstep for Belfast. I'm not representing any distillery tonight apart from McConnell's, because I had my McConnell's jumper on. I didn't realise. I didn't realise until earlier I had a McConnell's jumper on. I felt felt bad, but they didn't have any gin for me, so I couldn't do that. I couldn't go and buy any gin from there. So Ninth Wave Gin. Have people seen the Ninth Wave Gin? Have people seen it in the shops? Because I think it's been regularly available in Northern Ireland. I think it's in supermarkets now. I believe, in fact, I actually picked this one up from Tesco in Newton Ards, so I know that is available there. What do we make of that? They've given some spiel as to what they think Ninth Wave Gin is all about. But this is sourced, so the Ninth Wave Gin that we have does not come directly from the Hinch Distillery at the moment. And I believe that their focus going forward is that they will have their own gin coming directly from that distillery. All the rest should be coming from their own distilleries, and that's something to think about. But it's nice to showcase local gins. I think in the main, and correct me if I'm wrong, everyone doing a tasting tonight usually will do a cocktail tasting, gin tasting, which is primarily a cocktail tasting, or it's primarily a gin tasting, which will just include mixers. And I thought about that long and hard, and I thought, do you know what? No, I'm used to doing whiskey tastings, rum tastings, and when I want to do a gin tasting, I thought, let's explore the gins. There's bound to be good gin out there that we can taste it, straight away without actually having to, put it into a glass and fill it with Coke, So
for me, it's nice to do a direct comparison of gin to gin, because I've never done that before. It's always been, as you said, it's been with a single gin brand, and it's been signature serves, it's been cocktails, but it's never that like for like comparison where you look at the botanicals, you discuss the nose, the aroma, go through the palate, and you directly compare that nose and palate from gin to gin. So it's good to have that opportunity.
Yeah, no, great. And I think that for me, a lot of gin, is samey. So I don't mean to belittle people who drink gin all the time, but for me, a lot of the time when I've drunk gin and when I've been out, it's with something. It's maybe just with tonic water potentially, but it's samey. I'm kind of like, right, just give me a gin and tonic, just give me a gin and something. And I don't really think about the base spirit. I don't think about the gin enough. So what I was keen to do was to think about this and, really think about what they're trying to tell us. So Ninth Wave Gin I mean, I'm not a gin expert. I'm sure some of you really are, though. I'm sure some of you are on the ball when it comes to gin. But we talk about botanicals, and it's ninth wave, and they talk about 9 botanicals within the gin here. All right, so I'm just going to read them out, and whether or not you can gauge that just from the smell and just from the taste. Okay, the smell's great. I mean, I actually love the smell of gin.
I'm getting real sort of like piney notes and that kind of eucalyptus and the freshness that I think is coming from the cardamom. That's one of the botanical shades, and for me, from the nose, it's that citrus. It's piney. It's eucalyptus. Like that's what that freshness. That's what I always think of as being kind of the ninth wave.
Yeah, if there's one element I'm getting on the nose, it is that pine resin, which I'm getting. Yeah, very much so. And so they talk about having juniper berries, coriander seeds, angelica root, orris root, cassia bark, lemon, verbena, orange peel, cardamom, and grains of paradise. Now, again, I'm not an expert on spices and all sorts. Like, please tell me that grains of paradise is some sort of spice, or a botanical, or is that just a made up? Maybe they went to Parkhead and picked up some grass and sprinkled it in. I don't know. Is there? Am I missing something?
Paul, I'll let you sit in the fence.
Sorry?
I'll just let you talk away.
Jamie, if I didn't realise you're here, you can talk. Listen, Jamie, it's good that you're here because you can talk about your gym. And you can
I just thought I'd quickly listen in. No, I'm going to let you talk away. But if there's anything you need from me, work away. But
I'm sure our participant. It's nice to have you here because I'm sure our participants can ask you some questions. I know that Brendy will be coming on later on when we're talking about the cologne, so I might just wait for him to nip in. But yeah, I'm nosing it and I really like that. I like that. That kind of resin, that kind of. I'm trying
on your note about grains of paradise, it is kind of a spice, Paul, but grains of paradise in America is counted as a hallucinogenic. So sapphire can't be sold in like 7 states in America.
Right.
Us just listing ninth wave just realised that there's 7 states, mainly Florida, that we can't actually list it in.
Right. Okay. Can you sell it in it though?
Can I sell it in America?
Yeah. In those states?
Certain states, yes, but the likes of Florida, Ohio, California, Massachusetts, off the top of my head, I know that we're not allowed to sell it.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it just comes down to in big quantities, it can be counted as a hallucinogenic.
Hallucinogenic on the hinge.
How much do we drink before we get that property coming through?
The grains of paradise is 8% of the botanicals.
Right, I'm thinking to myself, if there's a legalized hallucinogenic in this, I need to deconstruct this somehow and really get it to the point where I can start see things. Not me.
Hey, probably.
Anyway, Paul.
Say that again, Adrian.
You drink enough this, you'll not be able to see anything anyway.
Probably. Probably drink enough of this. I would be in my sleep.
Give me a couple of minutes, and if I can find them once we're finished here, I'll send you a picture of what grains of paradise looks like. I've got the botanicals in the house somewhere.
Very kind of you. Do you know what? On the taste, for the taste I'm actually getting. I know it's not listed directly in there, but I'm getting like a kind of like a licorice all sorts sweetie. More like a the wee coconut ones with the licorice just inside the ring. I like that.
Yeah. Who did I hear say pine needles?
Me.
Yeah. One of the notes that we wrote for was pine needles, but for me personally, there's a lot of fresh mint as I get off it. Now there's no fresh mint in the botanicals, but when they come together, I personally get a lot of fresh mint off it.
I always think of it as being like a really fresh gin, really kind of, as you said, like great for the summers. For me, that kind of mojito-esque, kind of minty, freshy. Very good for that.
You got to remember, we've come up with about a load of guys that drink whiskey, so that 43% strong flavors was all about.
No, it's good. I think.
What's your recommended mixer, Jamie?
Pardon?
What's your recommended mixer?
We actually keep it really, really simple, just with a normal tonic, because there's 9 botanicals in there and it's such a strong flavor profile. Us group of guys, I seen Louise's glass there. We hate the big glasses with the fruit salads in it. So for us, very
Well,
much a case of
Bob recommended that I do the tasting with the bloom glasses, so you can blame David over at Shortcross. He recommended this, so
yeah, but that's David. He does his own thing with Fiona.
Well, generally, Jen, you do want a big glass so you can get the nose, because it's mostly in the nose, the aromatics.
For us, we just use we want to take it back to what a gin and tonic was years ago. You know, just like a gin, tonic, highball glass, and a bit of ice. So we use the 7-9 tonic. We just all those 9 botanicals that are there in it, and such a strong flavor profile. That's what we want to shine through. We don't want to disguise it with any other flavored tonic, shall we say. If we wanted that, you could actually put that into your base spirit and distill it, that you get those flavors coming across.
True.
But at the end of the day, it's personal profile.
Tell me this from the audience, those that are drinking it.
Please, I got your glass. Jimmy. Please get the nice glass.
Put that down. That's far too big.
I think that's on property.
Are people enjoying the taste? Because I actually quite like the taste.
Yeah.
And actually, I could drink that without anything. This is interesting because I want to see whether or not can I drink this without adding anything to it. And actually, it's interesting enough for me to drink without having to worry about going to grab a tonic water. You know what I mean? So I like that.
It's what you touched on at the start, Paul. A lot of people pass up on the base spirit of gin straight away and go straight to what mixers and what fruit salad, as I would call it, can be put straight into it. And a lot of people have their opinion on it, but I would always say go back to the base spirit as much as you can. You know, it is a really powerful base spirit. 43%, the botanicals shine through.
Yeah, no, I'm liking that. You've converted me there, Jamie.
I hold hands up, Paul. I'm like you. I'm whiskey through and through, and work pay me 10% to do gin.
Okay.
I'm for you, Jim, if you want.
Is anyone not liking it? Is anyone thinking that's I don't know if I'd like that. I need to go and grab a tonic water. I need to go and grab, a Coke, or in my case, I've got like lots of fruit and stuff to throw at it. Is it okay?
If you were to put any flavor, go Mediterranean.
Right. Sorry, Ian. What did you say, Ian?
You got a tick on the sheet.
There's a tick on it. There's a tick on it. That's a good thing. There's a tick.
Not tickle.
Sure, we'll take a tickle as well. That's
That'll come later.
Super. We're going to leave Cologne if Brendan's not on here just now. I know he's going to join us, so we'll maybe just leave Cologne for a minute, and we'll skip across to Ecklandville. We'll do the Ecklandville, which is number 26. Is that right? Your number.
Yeah, it's quite a strong ABV, isn't it, Paul? It's like 46 or 45. Am I right in thinking?
Say again.
The Ecklandville is quite a high ABV for gin, isn't it? It's about 45, 46, something around that.
So the Ecklandville one, I haven't got. I'm just going to bring that up in my notes. Yep, give me 1 second. It's I have it here. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right. 46%. Yeah. So I didn't have the 9th wave bottle. That's in recycle at the moment. Not enough room, but this is the Ecklandville one. This is a tiny little Ecklandville one. Okay. Lovely little bottle. It's kind of cute. Only 50 cl bottles.
Fine.
Absolutely lovely. But yeah, it's trickle pot distilled. I'm just going to pour directly from this, I think. Sure, why not? When and
malt. That's really nice.
Okay. What's going to be interesting here is making sure that I don't mix them up because they're all clear nearly. Need to not get them mixed up. So we have to go and smell here. The smell this is really interesting. What I do know about Ecklandville is that this one here that we're going to be drinking, so the Irish pot still gin, is 100% malt gin. Yeah. So I didn't know what that was, and I was like, what even is that? So it's 100% malt gin. Apparently the only one in Ireland. That might have changed now, but it was definitely the first one in Ireland to be 100% malt.
What does that mean?
it's a bit. It means it's a little bit like the start and very start process of a whiskey. Really, it's also trickle. It's also trickle pot. It's called trickle pot distilled. And I asked that question about what do they mean by that? And it says it's just to do with the length of time. So it's a very slow process that it goes through. Some gins, I believe, can be made very, very quickly. You know, it's a quick process for that to distill. This apparently is very, very slow.
There it is.
Creamy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the malt, isn't it?
Is anyone else getting like a little hint of lavender on the nose?
I thought lavender as well.
That's lovely. Well, tell you what, lavender. Let me think if that's on the kind of thing they're looking for.
Yeah. There's definitely like a lavender, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting that both on nose and palate.
Like a rose or something as well, no?
Parma Violet, a wee bit watered down.
Parma Violet.
Aye.
I'm going to give you the list of botanicals for it as well, so you have that to
It's
hand.
like that kind of like rose petal floral,
Mhm.
kind of rose water, petal water. Yeah.
Anyone who said lavender, you get points. That's a good one. You're spot on.
Yay.
That's a botanical within that. Did someone say? Well, people said it was creamy. Again, they have that down as one of their selling points for this. That it's creamy. So again, good points. Did anyone say? Did someone say elderflower?
I said elderflower.
Yeah, you're spot on. Again, that's a botanical in this. So yeah, look, I think what they're trying to do here, from what I get, is that this is a single estate. So everything that is in this comes from the one estate. So it's what they call Ireland's first supreme single estate pot still gin. All right, homegrown flour malt and malty barley and local botanicals. They talk about this idea that it's because of where they are and where they're situated. So Ecklinville is on that peninsula, so they've got this beautiful land and sea element directly, causing the botanicals to influence this gin, which I think is pretty interesting. I like that. Maybe they're selling it, whatever, but actually, so far I get the creaminess. And I'm certainly picking up some of those kind of flavors that we've got here. It says here, the palate, anise and lavender make way for juniper and coriander notes. Sweetness carries on with a malt character and creamy mouthfeel seldom found in modern gins. Complex and perfectly balanced. Fresh floral and zesty citrus notes, sweet and smooth with a hint of malt from Ecklinville's homegrown barley. On the end of it, they're saying that rose flower is prominent, and as you say, with the finish with pine and citrus revisiting. Now, I'm going to be using this later on. I asked Jarlath Watson, look, guys, what do you see as that being what's your signature kind of cocktail or whatever? And they weren't sure. I mean, they've had something in the past that they've kind of just gone with very, very simple elderflower tonic, lemon and mint. I'm going to mix that up later on. I'm actually going to look for the rose, and I'm going to go with a raspberry and rose tonic kind of water thing going on there. I'm going to go with something completely different. So I'm going to use Longbridge mixers later on. So I'm going to be using their raspberry and rose. Anyway, I really like that. That is, do you know what? It's nearly like, for me as a whiskey drinker, it's slightly, okay, yes, it's botanically, when we get that, it's ginny, but it's also nearly like a new make spirit in some respects, like a new make whiskey that I actually think could be very interesting going forward. So I like that. I definitely get the
Far away my favorite gin.
Say again?
It's far away my favorite gin.
It's
That creaminess.
it's your favourite, yeah?
It's probably because you're a whiskey drinker as well. Like, it doesn't have that feel. I would happily drink that all night.
Sean, you're up.
Yeah, what's the strength on it? What, 46?
46. It's one of the stronger gins because most tend to sit kind of around 42, 43. So it's definitely on the higher end of the sphere. So yeah.
That was the whiskey ones that made that. Rocket fuel.
Oh, what price is the Anchentville distillery?
Sorry, what price is it?
Whereabouts is it? We don't live in Northern Ireland anymore, so I don't know where some of these gins are
Here's
coming.
Frankfurt.
Yeah. So do you know where Newton Ards is?
Yes.
So if you go from Newton Ards and you head out towards the very end of Strangford Lough, so you go down towards Kirkcudbright.
Yes, yeah. So
Ecklinville Distillery is just off Kirkcudbright. You go past Kirkcudbright, take a left, and it's down Granshire Road. It's an old estate there, been split up many times. It used to be part of the Christian Brothers. It's a big country house. It used to be part of big Christian Brothers. It's been bought over by Shane Braniff, who's turned the estate into a working distillery. So the old house still remains, this beautiful big house. It will be turned into, at some point, a kind of guest hotel for people to come to the distillery. It literally does look the part. And then we've got the distillery next to it, which is this beautiful glass, really modern looking distillery. So it's glass frontage. You can look right in. You see all the stills coming out of the ground. Really, really pretty. Does not look out of place in that part of the world. Looks absolutely stunning. And look, they've been there for 8 years. 8 years, and they've got now what 7-year-old malt, 7-year-old malt and single pot still whiskies, which can at some point be released. But yeah, it's definitely worth the visit. They do really nice tours when they're allowed, obviously. And going forward, you'll see, you'll see a change down there. There's going to be, the house will be used, although it's used as a wedding venue. It's still lived in, so it's, you can still live in it, but it's going to be used. It's going to be used for guests, So look, very, 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 very exciting. Lovely, genuinely lovely place. Part of Belfast Whisky Week next year. So if you're coming to Belfast for the festival next year, there'll be tours out to the distillery. So we have tours going out, and they have a day that they're bringing people down to the distillery. I suppose that's going to be the same for the likes of Hinch as well. We maybe didn't talk about that, but Hinch is obviously out in Balnahinch, just outside of Belfast. And again, they're just I'll be honest, it's nearly a fight as to who's got the best looking distillery at the moment. Because Hinch Distillery would not look out of place in Speyside or the Highlands or anywhere. It is an absolutely stunning venue, really, yeah, it's gorgeous. Not something that we're used to here in Ireland at all. Beautiful, genuinely looks like an old Scottish distillery. It looks like it's actually been in Balnahinch for forever. It just looks like it's been there forever. It's fit right straight into the scenery, But yeah, I'm liking this Ecklinville. People liking the Ecklinville one. To me, I can drink that all day long. That's easy.
Yeah, it is really creamy. There's like a nice deep flavour to it. It's not as sweet, quite crazy smells, and sometimes there are an awful lot of aromatics off them, and that one doesn't. It's like a nice, fresh, solid flavour.
Just rounded and smooth.
Mellow. That all night.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah, it's fair comment there. Michelle, you enjoying that one?
Yeah, I prefer the ninth wave over it for me.
Okay.
Definitely, I think the ninth wave was a bit fresher for me, rather than that was a bit thick. Sort of leaves it on your tongue, which I'm not so fond of.
It's definitely creamier, isn't it, Michelle? It's creamier. It is a thicker, gin. You're quite right. It's actually if we look at it. So I mean, something we do with whiskey a lot is look at the kind of oiliness of it. It's actually quite oily. It's got legs. It comes down the glass, and it takes a bit of time to come down. The ninth wave, though, a little bit more splash around like water. There's a bit of consistency about it, but not as much as the Ecklinville. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good to know. We've got some lovers of both already. That's interesting. You're going to notice there's a slight difference. Actually, I'm thinking maybe Hold on. I'm thinking whether or not we just go for. Do you know what? We're going to move on to number 29. So your number 29 we'll move on to. Okay. So we've gone 24. Sorry?
Do that worse.
I know.
You've got them lined up.
Oh, I know, but I'm thinking to myself, right? I'm thinking to myself about the content of the alcohol here, and I'm thinking to myself, do you know what? We will go to the gunpowder. So we'll go to the gunpowder. This is the John Shambo. So we should have seen these in the shops. This should be. I mean, it's probably one of the prettiest bottles of alcohol I've ever seen. I love buying it. Love picking it up. Looks great with a candle in it. It looks absolutely brilliant. So yeah.
Looks better with gin in it.
Sorry, looks better with gin in it. You know what? Fair enough. I prefer the gin in my glass, but I mean, if it's going to sit in the bottle, fair enough. It is.
Any left from your Christmas present?
I haven't opened it yet. I got a bottle for Christmas.
Oh, brilliant. Did you get that? Did you get this one, or did you get the new ceramic?
No, I got
You got that one.
This one.
Oh, that's her brother.
Hello.
Have you seen PJ's new bottle? It's the Waving Cat gin bottle, ceramic Waving Cat.
Yeah, the
And you
ceramic. That's it.
Yeah, so they've got that there in a ceramic bottle
Yes,
normally as well.
Yeah.
But they now have the third version, and it's a Waving Cat.
Well, I haven't seen that yet.
It's like the Chinese Lucky
Wait, the
Cat.
Chinese like that, like this?
Yeah, and you pour it out of the arm.
No way.
He spent. I think it might only be a distillery exclusive, but I remember talking to him about it recently, and the money he spent on it is madness.
That is mad.
But I think you can get it online. I think
I'm not certain. You might be able to.
I'll be honest.
My life.
The level of detail on this is class. I'm loving the wee cork, and I love this bottle. But and you know what? Funnily enough, it's just one of those strange. When it first came to market, and I saw it in the shop, and it said gunpowder Irish gin. I was like, what the hell is that? What is gunpowder? What's that all about? And it's actually some sort of tea, so it's gunpowder tea, Oriental botanics that they're using, you know. And here, the smell is absolutely brilliant. I love the nose on the John Shambo here. I love it. It's very, very spicy. I get lots of spice on the nose.
I get the star anise, and I get a little tiny bit of that kind of tea note as well, just ever so slightly. Definitely that kind of spicy star anise, kind of juniper, that kind of on it.
I mean, they're you know. I think what they're doing down there, obviously that they're down there now creating the whiskey and stuff. You know, they've had a run of whiskey, and I suppose one of my points that I'm trying to make is that all these gins have a direct link to guys making whiskey. You know, I mean, we wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be doing that any other way. I wouldn't be picking a gin where they're just making gin. It has a direct link. So these guys have put out their inaugural release of their whiskey, which, I mean, for me personally, didn't hit me. You know, didn't make me jump up and say wow. And I suppose that's just my personal interpretation on it. But the gin does. So this actually, particularly in the nose, I really like that. I love that. It's spiciness coming on the nose.
Yeah.
Can I ask, Paul, was their intention to always make whiskey, and they did the gin in the interim period, as a lot of places do, or was their primary focus on gin? And then I thought, you know what, we'd like to find out do whiskey as well. Which way round did it go? You know.
I don't know. No, I don't know the answer.
The answer, Paul, is both. From speaking to PJ, it was both.
Right.
His inaugural sort of plans for the distillery. Obviously, he's had the expansion with the visitor centre now, and PJ has done it all off his own back as such. So obviously, we're not stupid. The cheapest and quickest thing you can put into a distillery is a gin still, which he put in, and then he came in with this hybrid still for his whiskey, and then he's gone into his pot stills and gone on. So I think from speaking to him, it always was a case. It was both straight off the bat, but it was easier to get the gin off the ground. And obviously, how old's their oldest stock now, Paul? 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years old at the moment. Yeah.
So
you know,
from speaking to him, Louise, the answer's both. That didn't really seem to be this or that.
Oh, right, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose with most distilleries, 100%, it is all about getting money in and what can we do to do that before we get our own whiskey. So it's going to take 5, 7, 8 years, 10 years, depending on what's happening at the distillery before we get anything. Yeah, he's also done vodka. Am I right? You know, so we've got down there.
I'm just looking at that. Oh yeah, he's done a vodka. It's called Sausage Tree.
Sausage Tree. Yeah.
Irish vodka.
Mate,
I was
again,
like, that's awesome.
Adrian, I was like, what is a sausage tree? I was like, when I first saw it.
But I was just looking at his website, yeah. Sausage Tree, pure Irish vodka. I was like, yeah, I have no idea what a sausage tree is. Somebody can like this. Please do. But you have to enjoy the fun he's having with it.
That's the magical mind of PJ Rigney, is the best way of putting it.
But he certainly is having a bit of crack. I'm going to list the botanicals here so we understand the kind of journey here that we've had and the different types of botanicals in each one of these gins. So some really strange gins, but it also tells you where it's come from. So where the gins are originating from, because it does say that it's Oriental botanicals. So we've got Meadowsweet, and they say that that's a local one at Drumshambo. We've got cardamom from India, juniper berries from Macedonia, coriander seed from Romania, the angelica root from Germany, orris root from Morocco, caraway seed from India, and star anise from China. And the vapor-infused botanicals are gunpowder tea, lemon, oriental grape, and kaffir lime. There we go. So very interesting, and I tell you what, this honestly is a nose full of spice, which I really, really like. But the lemon and the citrus grapefruit is huge on the taste. Like huge, like lime, grapefruit, lemon. And funnily enough, I'm going to be doing something later on with some grapefruit, potentially. So I might do a cocktail with this one with my grapefruit.
Adrian, I'm going to
Is it
that
evil?
one that Adrian said. It is apparently it's a fruit tree in Africa, a sausage tree. You knew?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that about the sausage tree. I was really worried.
I'm not even going to try and pronounce the African name of it, but it's a tree in Africa, and it's called a sausage tree, and it has fruit that looks like sausages. You knew?
That's mental. That's absolutely.
There we go. Who's going to take that on and grow one here if they can?
Not going to. Well, do you know what? Can we grow sausage trees and I suppose down that peninsula, you know, you see all the palm trees. I mean, and they're now growing tea, aren't they? Down the very edge of that peninsula, down at the very bottom, they're growing tea. So we have Irish tea, don't we? So, just at Portaferry, yeah. I watched the whole program on that. I thought it was very cool. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just thinking based on the alcohol content alone, because I know that a couple of them have a little bit more alcohol. We shall do number 31. We'll just skip across again. We'll go number 31. Hopefully that's not annoying everyone that had them in a line, you know, and lined up. And
Well, it is.
Fiona,
I like it neat.
Not about our tea, Paul.
I'm sorry, Fiona. Fiona, don't hate me too much.
Number 31.
We're doing it number 31. 31. 31 is Dingle. Dingle, 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 dingle.
Oh, I think I might have poured quite a lot.
So yeah, Dingle, Dingle, Dingle. So Dingle again. I mean, Dingle. They've got it all, don't they? They've got the vodka. They've got the gin. They've got the stouts. They've got their beers and stuff, don't they? But they now have respectable, really respectable whiskey, which is really good. So I should have mentioned actually when we had Hinch, when we had the Ninth Wave earlier. You know, Hinch went down a treat. Jamie, that 18-year-old French cask finish went down a treat, an absolute storm. Everyone who has drunk it through this.
Oh, was that
for this.
Did you have the 18-year-old on the one earlier?
I've done the 18-year-old twice already.
Oh, I thought you said you had it on the one earlier, but it was
I meant earlier in the festival. But you know what? Really went down a treat. The amount of people have messaged me and they've talked about it and they've said, "Listen, how good that how good that whiskey is." Again, we're obviously looking forward to see what's coming. Ecklandville, we know what's happening down there. They've got the Dunvilles range, and hopefully very soon they'll release their own whiskey. But Dingle have released all their whiskey. So again, look, this is a gin tasting, but I want to keep on reverting back to whiskey distilling. These guys have got great pot still whiskey that's out at the moment and single malt. So they've definitely done well in a very short space of time.
Got a good vodka as well.
Good vodka also, yeah. So this is at 42%. So we've had 43% with the Ninth Wave, 46% with the Ecklandville, 43% with the Gunpowder. We're at 42% with the Dingle. Okay, the botanicals in here, all right, are Angelica. And I love this word. I think it's funny every time I see it. I don't want to laugh too much. But bog myrtle, I think that's just funny. It's just a funny, bog myrtle. I think it's great. Chevril, coriander, fuchsia, hawthorn berries, heather, juniper, and rowanberry. And do you know what? The floralness of that comes through a hell of a lot, on the nose. There is a definite, and again, we're going to get that juniper note and getting there. I'm not sure what bog myrtle smells like, but I'm going to try it someday. I'm going to get a good whiff of it. I get a real floral note coming through, as if I'm like standing in a field with flowers and just getting that.
You've drunk too much.
Probably. Yeah, that's not a bad thing, is it? It's not a bad thing.
Don't drink too much, drink far too much.
We're all not done anyway, so.
Very similar. I'm going to say something, Jamie. There's a similarity, though, on the nose with the Ninth Wave. Again,
sorry, what's this Dingle you're on?
So we're doing the Dingle. I'm saying
I'm just drinking whiskey while listening, sorry.
There's a similarity. There's a similarity to the pine note that I was getting coming off the Ninth Wave.
They're beside the sea as well, so it must mean something.
Preferred Ninth Wave to this.
Appreciate it, thank you.
That's just because Dave's not on here talking about it. That's all.
If
Dave was on here,
everybody would love Dave.
If Dave was on here, you'd just fall in love with Dave and you'd think Dingle was the best drink that you'd ever had in your life. So,
some cows though, Paul.
Yeah, he is. He's a busy man, is our Dave. He's a busy man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I get from the taste of this? Again, it's actually quite creamy. It's got a creaminess to it, and it's not as harsh as I thought it was. From the nose, I expect it to be quite harsh and have some high notes in there, but actually it's a wee bit subdued.
Don't like it.
Yeah, it's not very ginny.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's not
That's the right
ginny.
word for it.
It's quite creamy. It's actually
The juniper's not coming through, or you're sort of just
it's quite polite.
sort of inert and flat.
Yeah.
Do you say flat?
I'm drinking that stirred.
Yeah. In comparison to the last couple, it seems very inert, flat, neutral. Yeah.
I
Doesn't
told
really
you.
jump out. I would agree.
I told you, if Dave was here, he'd be selling it as the best thing since sliced bread, and no doubt it is.
It's bloody mother's pride.
Like that goes without saying, but it is kind of a very kind of, I don't know, neutral kind of
For me,
one of the London's right in. It's what you'd expect, but nothing kind of to blow your socks off. It's just a good kind
Probably the cocktail gin. It's not too crazy. There's not a lot of flavors that come through that overpower it in a different way.
yeah, I was going to say it's the first one so far, which I have no problems launching it into a mixer. Now, that's not to say that I can't drink it neat, because I can. It's just that I don't find it as interesting as the other ones so far. As interesting is what I mean. Okay, now, and again, that's not a criticism of the gin at all. And what I've already said is this is about the whiskies, really. I wanted to keep, going back to it. And for me, everyone knows that I have now got to the stage where I think Dingle has now started to produce some very good whiskey. So originally, young whiskies hit and miss. It's starting to get good. So in the gin point of view, it's very safe, isn't it? It's a safe gin. It's safe for the market. Yes, is it better than a standard Gordon's? Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It has a creaminess to it. Has that really nice pine resin note that I was getting earlier. I like that. But it's pretty safe. I don't necessarily have to keep expanding into that to go and find it. Method and Madness, number 30, I think we'll go into. Now, I'm going to caveat this one, and I'm going to say, like, IDL, okay, so IDL down in Middleton with their mad, crazy ideas that they've been coming up with their different types of whiskies. I was loving the fact that we could actually have, a gin, and that they were willing to go ahead and give us something a little bit different. So, yeah, quite impressed. I find it very heavy on the lemon, kind of notes. So, I really like the black. It's like a really, really cracked black pepper that you would maybe get on in a sauce that you maybe have with your steak. Really, really sharp on that pepper note.
We're going back number 30.
Number
30, Method Madness. Yeah, 30.
Paul, do you get cucumber from it at all?
Cucumber, no.
That's all I ever get. That's all I ever get from Method Madness.
Strangely enough, I'm a massive fan of cucumber. I was talking about this earlier on. Like, I love cucumber. I don't necessarily get that.
Cucumber.
Automatically.
We were talking about that earlier.
So Method of Madness, for some reason, all I pick up on it is cucumber. I've had this debate with Joe as well.
No, I get like a kind of aniseedy kind of taste on it. Like a little bit of aniseed. I get lemon. I get black cracked pepper.
I get
Ginger.
Yeah.
Ginger.
Ginger, yeah. Like there's a heat from the ginger. Yeah, who said ginger? Cheers, Maria.
Same time.
Good.
Yeah.
Definitely ginger.
Spot on.
Quite very.
And I tell you another thing about this. I could easily drink this without anything. For me, this is a drink where I'm like, really.
Were you not one of the first people, Paul, to try and beg Joe for a bottle? You went to Dublin to get one.
Yeah.
Am I not right? You drove to Dublin, Celtic, to buy one.
Yeah.
So.
Not denying it.
Oh yeah, I remember the fight you had with Joe. When's it going to be released? No, I didn't join you in that trip. I joined you in another one.
You joined me in the Breaking of the Birds.
Good out.
That's
Well, is that the same one that was in the summer festival box for the Method Madness?
Yes.
Gin. It is? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've still got my little bottle on the shelf behind me there.
Oh, good.
With that.
Good. So far they've only done the one, and I actually, do you know what? They put a massive amount of effort into the marketing of this, a massive amount. And actually, if you were down in Dublin during the release of this, they took up a whole street, big light show and everything. Like a proper. It was epic looking, and
madness.
Yeah, it was madness. Indeed, it was indeed. But I thought they would have brought out another one by now. However, I believe it's in batches. So I believe it's gone out in separate batches, and there might be a slight deviation in the taste because it is slightly slightly different in terms of its construction. But again, I don't know where they're going with it. I think it would be nice to see another gin from them, just to see, can they do something a wee bit mental? Can they go ahead and do maybe a different cast finishing on something? Because that's what they're used to now with the Method Madness range with whiskey. It's all about the cash finishes. We've had Cherrywood, the most randomest thing I've come across in the last few years. Cherrywood. I mean, what's that all about? Chestnut wood. Using chestnut for cash finishing whiskies. Mental. Now, in saying that, you could go back in history and look at the French, and they would have happily have, casked their cognacs in chestnut. Yeah, but it's not. It's so expensive. It's not worth doing. It doesn't get done anymore. It's actually a very difficult wood, I think, to use when it comes to storing whiskey. But they did that. The cherry wood I really liked. Thought that was really nice. But yeah, the gin's good. I like anyone not liking that gin because, I think it could because of that crackback pepper. That could put a lot of people off. And actually, that
I like it, actually. I do like the peppery kind of flavour to it. Again, it's probably one of those where it'll be a good cocktail one. There's not too many crazy flavours in it, but it's still nice. You can drink it.
I'm doing that definitely. There's a cocktail I ask people to make up now. Can I just say, a lot of times when I'm asking people to go and do things, and when I go to a bar and I want a cocktail, I don't necessarily go and ask for those cocktails that are on the bar list. Sometimes I just say to them, listen, I know this is high on the lemon content, lemon, citrusy, pepper. I need something to balance that out. So the first time that I had this, I was in the House Bar in Belfast, and I specifically said to the barman, I said, listen, I want a cocktail here. Do me a favour, get me lots of crushed raspberries, crush it down, a little bit of tonic water, that'll do me. And here, I made him taste it before he gave me it, and he was like, do you know what, we should have this on our menu. So I mean, that type of, it was right, the balancing off of that kind of sour sweet of the raspberry, with the sharp citrus of the lemon, it works well. So I'm actually going to I've got some raspberries here. I'm going to do that later on with for myself, I'm actually going to be so drunk on cocktails tonight. It's going to be unbelievable. You might not see me in that state, but that's what's going to be happening, I don't have a tasting tomorrow, so I'm okay. I'm all right.
Well then, you've no excuse. It would be rude to stay sober.
I have a whole day to sober
That's
up.
why you do the cocktails afterwards, Paul.
Sorry?
That's why you're doing the cocktails afterwards, because you've got no tasting tomorrow.
Exactly, that's it. A wee day to chillax, and get
celebrate the end of 2020. What better way than drunken gin cocktails?
Oh my god!
Bottle of whiskey and a straw.
Yeah, well,
Sure,
I start the new year with a cask strength tasting. The new year starts with very, very, very high ABV drinks. You know what I mean? So the tasting on the 1st of January is all about crazy cask strength whiskies. Okay.
That kill the virus.
Sorry.
Will that
kill ourselves in gin or something?
Will it kill the virus? I have no idea. I hope so.
Worth a try.
Apparently,
isn't it? Yeah. Nothing to lose. If it doesn't work, you still get to drink cask strength whiskey, and if it does work, then you don't get coronavirus.
Yes.
For that one, my husband was too tight.
Oh, here. Oh, God love him. God love him. Here. There's always next year. You're all right. Listen, I think we should definitely give the botanicals for the Method Madness so people know what's in there, and we can again think about those little flavors if that's something we're looking for. Yeah, and do you know what? It's, as I say, coming from the line of premium whiskies that they have, and then standard whiskies, to create a gin, I was impressed. I thought that was a smart move, particularly a marketing move, So
which distillery is it from?
So it's from the same people. Yeah, it's from the same people called IDL. So Irish distillers, and they're owned by let me think, Pernod Ricard. They're owned by Pernod Ricard, but they would have the Middleton distillery is really what it's all about, and they've got a micro distillery project called Method Madness. So they've used pot still whiskies, malt whiskey, and now they've put the gin in there into the same kind of house. But basically, that's the experimental part of it. The rest of it you'll know, which is Redbreast, Powers, Green Spot, the Middleton MVRs and the Jameson stuff. You'll know all of that. But this Method Madness is slightly different. It's their kind of it's their Willy Wonka stuff. I mean, I think that someone kept on saying it's Willy Wonka whiskey. You know what I mean? Is what it is really. they're going to be a bit off piste. Slightly different to a lot of distilleries who take whiskey and just use different casks. They're thinking a little bit outside of the bowl at the moment.
Yeah, and as you said, that they have a micro distillery that's actually separate and distinct from the main facilities, so they can tinker around with the mixtures and the process itself without interfering with their main development cycles. So they can do a lot of experimentation in a short period of time because you're making smaller batches.
Yeah, micro distilled is super important, and that's what it is. I'm just trying to get the botanicals up for this one. Not as easy as I thought to find the botanicals. They use, interesting enough, this is the most botanicals in a gin so far. This is 16 botanicals, so they've gone big.
Do you have a full list of the botanicals there, Paul?
I'm bringing it up here just now. Yeah, give me 1 second. My phone's been a little bit slow. There, we're back on it. Here we go. Botanical. Well, actually, here, I tell you what, it's actually not giving me the full list, but what it is doing, and this is only from their own site, unless I'm misplaced, I can't actually physically see the whole thing. It's saying 16 botanicals, black lemon. So, black lemon, Irish gorse flower, okay, shredded ginger. Although this is on the nose, it's saying lemon balm, shredded ginger, sweet Irish gorse flower. The taste, spicy pine, earthy woodland frost, balanced citrus burst, and then finished with rooted orange grove, slow roasted spice. But it's not giving me the actual botanicals, which is a wee bit annoying. I thought it would. Maybe they don't want to give it. Maybe they're being a wee bit, because I can't actually find it now. How annoying. Anyone not like it? Because it is, for me, it could be very, very divisive, I think,
I like it. I like it. Wouldn't buy it.
Wouldn't buy it, no. I
wouldn't, no.
I think it's expensive as well. Like, in comparison maybe to the other ones, I think it might be a bit more expensive,
This is one of my favourites that we've had.
Okay.
I'm a big fan.
I like the fact we've got split interest. That's really good, because we don't want everyone drinking the same stuff. We would run out in the shops.
I suppose it's unusual to be drinking gin neat. You normally have all the flavours under everything else.
Very much so, and I don't apologise for it at all. Like, I think it's very important that we're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's good, and it gives us that chance. I think super point about doing this is it gives us that chance just to find those little flavours that we like, and maybe go and say, I could take that, and actually maybe looking at, do I just add a tonic water rather than do I throw it into a cocktail, or do I throw it in with other things, like the fruit salads that Jamie was talking about. Listen, I do have Brendan Carty in here now, so we will go across now back to number 25, and we will do Cologne gin. Okay, so that's number 25, Cologne gin. Yeah. So Brendan, how are we?
Not too bad. I thought I might have missed out, so I just thought I'd tune in for the crack. We haven't tasted it yet, or have we?
No.
Hey, Brendan.
Waited on you.
Brendan, our variety, seal was cracked, so there's actually no gin in our balls. We just
our bottle 25 was empty. The seal wasn't on it properly, and it had obviously soaked into the sponge.
Sorry, Fiona. Is that you, Fiona?
Yes.
Fiona,
just sucked the sponge. I didn't really get the taste.
Oh my God, Fiona, I'm so sorry, Fiona. Did you let me know? Did you let me know? I don't think you said. Did you?
Only found out.
I only opened it tonight. John bought me the box for Christmas.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
When I opened it tonight, I realised that it was 9.25.
Well, listen, it's absolutely it's probably one of the worst tasting gins I've ever come across. So you're not missing out. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Listen,
Shots fired.
listen,
Shots fired.
Fiona, where are you based, Fiona?
The Cotswolds in England.
Right. Listen, Fiona, I'll send a bottle over to you. Okay, we have a wee half bottle here of cologne. I'll get it sent over to you. All right.
Oh, mine was missing too. Mine was missing too.
Not buying into that. Not buying that.
And my ex symbol was missing as well.
Not buying all. Not buying all that.
Mine's missing.
But listen,
Yeah, me too.
happy enough to replenish that. But listen, Fiona.
Oh, just hit the mute button.
So Fiona, if I have your address, if I have your address, we'll make sure we get the bottle over to you. Okay.
I slowly hit stalk you.
Listen.
I needed that because we've just been put into tier 4 today, so we're not allowed to go out. So I have the general go down very well.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get you here. We'll keep you lit during lockdown.
Yeah, but number 25 is lovely.
Oh, my cat
Really good
You get it?
Did no, in all seriousness, did anyone else get a cracked bottle? Because I think sometimes those caps, they're hand crimped. I mean, I hand crimped every single one of them. So sometimes.
Yep, any of mine, none of them are on properly at all.
Have you sterilised your hands before you did it?
Oh, 100%. I was wearing gloves at all times as well. Gloves, masks on.
Look.
Oh, it looks full to me, Adrian.
Not even one of them.
Oh, it looks full to me. Looks full.
Yeah. All of us. Oh.
Adrian, that's a new MRC breach. You should get on and get a free box.
Yeah.
Careful now.
Well, do you know what?
Here, Brandy, you thought the legal teams love you.
Watch this one. There's Richard. So there's Richard, based over in Texas, Dallas, Texas, right? And they're all full. There's no spillages there.
Yeah, mine's down below the shoulder. That's how much I lost on the first one because it was leaking into the bottle, into the box. And we got it.
We got it, Richard. Thank you. Listen, I tell you what. If there was, and I'll be honest. Look, you've got to these things here. Yeah, they're an absolute nightmare. You put them on, screw them tight, and then crimp them. I'll show you this wee device because I have it here. Actually, look.
You obviously didn't use it.
You need to go down lower.
Oh no, I know, but yeah. But could you imagine doing over 1,000 of them? It was good fun. It leaves you with.
Brendan, can I say I'm really enjoying your gin?
Don't wind Fiona up. Don't wind Fiona up. You're winding Fiona up.
Thank you very much.
It's good. It's on my tick list to buy.
Brendan, don't worry. She told me that at the start about 9:12.
Give me one second.
Don't worry.
Brendan, where are you? Brendan, I'll let you chat about your gin just now, okay? And I'll come back to you. I'm just going to grab a glass. 2 seconds. On you go.
Very good. Here, how's all going? Thanks very much now for
Chris Fry.
free chat. I'm sure you're well left as well. Have to do those gyms.
He's sober.
This is Cologne anyway. So this is obviously we're Ireland's smallest distillery, and this is the gin that we made here. So we call it the native botanical gin. So we focus on native Irish botanicals, and we harvest them ourselves in the Mourne Mountains. So we try to be a part of the area as much as possible. And am I coming across a bit? Is there an echo there?
No, you're fine, Brendan.
No, you're fine.
You're okay.
Right, and so the way we make our gin is obviously by picking our own botanicals, but also by using our own flame-fed copper pot stills. Whenever we use these stills, we use a thing called a thumper keg, which acts as a gin basket. There's a sieve half the way up, so that's in between your condenser and your still. We've got this gin basket, and we put our botanicals in there because we want them to be vapor-infused botanicals rather than steeping them inside the liquid that's going to be distilled. Because whenever you put them in there, the theory is that you get too much of those aggressive notes and you don't actually get those lighter compounds, and it's more difficult to make your cuts. And we believe that as well. So, plus, it's a pain in the backside trying to clean out your still with botanicals in it when you're going to be making whiskey out of it the following day. So we use put all these lovely, delicate botanicals in there. wild mint leaf, for instance, wild angelica root, meadow sweet is a very important one, and wild angelica root as well. So wild angelica root is you need to know where to pick it, and you need to make sure you're picking the right one. Wild angelica root is it grows like a willow tree under the ground, so it's very difficult to harvest. We're trying to harvest these things sustainably because we want to make sure that they're in years to come when we continue to pick them, because we do want to continue our gin into the future. And it's very difficult, so you have to know where to pick it, and it has to be wet ground so that you can get as much of it out as possible. But what I'm going to ask you to do is pour a bit into your glass and just give it a sniff. Try and enjoy it. And we're not going to add anything yet. I'm just going to give it a wee nose. So you're getting a lot of those meadow flowers. So when I spoke earlier about there's fuchsia flower in there as well. But of course, fuchsia is a very staining plant. It's a lovely pink red colour. But whenever you distill it, it comes out clear like everything else. And it's lovely softness in there too. And the softness is actually coming from meadow sweet. So meadow sweet grows abundantly in the Irish countryside, right across, especially particularly in the west, but also here too. Whenever you get marshy lands. And if you think about it, meadow sweet, it's this lovely, calm, cream colour, but it also smells lovely and calm as well. It's very relaxing. And in fact, it's a natural source of aspirin. It was once grown commercially for aspirin. And whenever you think of old Irish legends, I'm sure we've heard of Cuchulainn. Richard, have you heard of Cuchulainn? I'll tell you anyway. Cuchulainn was he was the leader of the Fianna, which was in ancient Irish history, and he was just fond of losing his temper, and he ran around causing a lot of havoc throughout Ireland, basically. So the law of the land at the time stated that Cuchulainn had to carry meadow sweet on his person at all time, and every time he was going to get angry and lose his temper, he had to take a smell of it from his pouch, and it just relaxed him down. So the idea behind meadow sweet is that it was actually used commercially for making aspirin, but we're not allowed to claim any medicinal values of alcohol in this day and age. So if this cures your hangover, it isn't because we said it. It's
skip your heart.
Take a little sip anyway, see what you think. Without any mixer in it yet. Now, in order to be a gin, you need to be 37.5%. That's one of the few rules around gin, and it also has to be juniper led. So the majority of your botanicals have to be juniper. What we've done here is actually put it up, not just to 40%, but up to 43%. So it's quite strong, but whenever you taste it, it doesn't come across strong. And those key ingredients, the two main ones in there along with our juniper being the meadow sweet and the wild angelica root, we find, really pull those botanicals together and create a much more mellow feeling on the palate. It's also quite oily, it's quite viscous as well. Whenever we do your cuts with gin, it's quite like whiskey. The first bits that come off are very astringent. You don't really like them. It's not enjoyable, and you're after your hearts. So there's the start, there's the middle, and the end. You're after that middle part called your hearts. So the start of the day, you're getting off this really astringent notes that you don't want, so you cut them out. You take your hearts, and the bit at the end smells like rotten vegetables. So you're always using your nose throughout the day, and you're trying to decide when to make your cuts. So if you pour that around the glass, you can see the oil's actually moving down there. It's quite, there's quite a lot of oil in there, which means there's a lot of flavour in there. And they're not the bad oils, the ones that we're afraid of in our diets, for instance, but instead they're just lovely fusel oils that carry a lot of flavour. So at Cologne, what we recommend is less is more. So for our serve, we just add a tiny little bit of ice in there and a sprig of mint if you have it at hand. If you want to add anything else yourselves, do. But there's no rules. It's about enjoying it the way you like it. But add a sprig of mint and a little bit of tonic. A little bit of any tonic that you have at hand, preferably not flavoured tonic, a plain tonic.
What did you say?
Sorry?
Not you, Brendan. John said something there, but...
Is there C8? Good man, John. Not yet. I think we might get together with Hinch and Grapevine.
Irish gin.
The County Down gin, G8.
Brendan, what are you dragging me into that the legal team?
Those botanicals in there, it actually brings out all those wild botanicals that are in there already. So it really complements, those lovely herbal notes. So So yeah, take a little taste. See what you think. I want to get my tonic. I left it over there. 1 second.
I was going to say that I'm going to be using. I know that he's talking about his tonics and stuff. But I'm going to be using these guys. So I don't know if people are aware of the guys Longbridge. Yeah, so Longbridge here in Northern Ireland. So we've got a guy Wayne Adair who I came across a couple of Christmases ago. He was in the Christmas market in Belfast, and he has this Belfast ginger ale, and it is just superb. Like
the ginger ale and Brendan's potching is a combination.
That's a Christmas drink. That's a Christmas drink. The ginger ale and the potching is a unreal combination.
Really?
But they do. He does like a very clean Belfast tonic water, and also the raspberry rose, which I'm going to use later on. But lovely wee packs, and you can actually buy them from his wee site. You know, because obviously COVID and stuff, he's actually made up these wee boxes, and they get sent out to you all over the world. So he's managed to do that. I think it's important to use local tonics if possible. I think that's good. Obviously, that's maybe a little bit more expensive than your Schweppes or your I mean, what else is there other than Schweppes? To be frank, but
Paul, can you hold it up again? I was distracted by whether Brendan has got big Pete or Bigga Peas behind him. Which is it?
Definitely Bigga
Is it?
What year is it, Brendan?
I'm still not looking at the Longbridge. Which is it? Oh, it's by Pete.
Whiskey Club auction.
Right, now I see it.
You also the Longbridge kept it down yet, Maria.
I see it now. I was distracted, like I said, trying to work out whether he had fast peas in his drinks covered or
Bigga Peas.
Bigga Peas.
And that'd be great.
Big Peas.
Thanks for clarifying.
Brendan, whereabouts in the Borns are you based?
We're based just outside Cologne, so we're Cologne Distillery. Cologne is halfway between Kilkeel and Rostrevor. So on the Calcy water, the river basically divides the two old kingdoms. The kingdom, from way back in time, and the two council boundaries until very recently as well. Lovely part of the world, goes right up in. The mountain beside us is called Nankee, the Hill of the Fairies.
That's right. Your man's down there with his. Is that where your wee man's based? With his leprechauns? Is he across the water from you?
He's across in County Louth, actually.
Yeah, he's across in County Louth, the wee man with the leprechauns. I really want to visit his house someday. I'm excited.
All the leprechauns want to meet you as well, Paul.
I'm a leprechaun fan. I'm all for leprechauns. Save leprechauns. Here.
Open to visitors, Brendan.
Yeah, not right now due to the
But in normal times.
Definitely, yeah. On a Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's a better day.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Most welcome.
So when we are able to travel, then we've got like a nice little circle of distilleries lined up to visit.
Fuck, you're just right.
It's a good day out, or plan a weekend. Yeah, why not?
Oh, it won't be just be a day.
I like that.
Good.
Like that. Well, here, listen. You know what you could do? We as part of the club, you can join us. We're doing a wee tour of some of the distilleries when we're allowed to physically go back out and do that. We're doing a wee tour. So we've been trying to get that planned for over the last 12 months, and it's just unfortunate we just haven't been able to step across the door. But yeah, you can join us because that'd be some crack.
I'm coming too. I'm coming.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to join us. I know there's some guys, Ricky and Jason, a couple of guys in there really want to get that going, So our plan is to go out. We want to spend as much time as possible in some of these distilleries. Hinge are begging us to come. I mean, they've been literally begging us to come and visit them.
First I heard of that.
Right, Jimmy? Isn't that right? Begging.
First, is that an open invite that I've just heard of?
Yeah, that was good. Listen, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I'm glad you enjoyed the cologne there. Anyone not like it? Anyone think it's bad? Because I was only being cheeky. Like it is a really nice gin.
No, it's very, very good.
It is very good. I actually really enjoy that one.
Look, the fact that he's here, is we can't say it's shite to his face. Like,
don't worry, we can't with crap.
Brendan, they're not as harsh an audience like the Whiskey Club when you're in McDowell's Soul getting abused.
Exactly. Very nice bunch.
Yeah, lovely bunch.
We're
I think gin folk are the way forward, I think.
Gin people are so
We're
much
both
more polite.
surprised. I can't say anything because I'm the whiskey crowd as much as the gin crowd. So
That's right.
Gin
We'll
people are
Yes,
so
they
much
only
more
want to have empty.
Well, maybe if you brought like Gordon's into the equation, we might have some more negative feedback. But it's all been nice so far. So
Like fires.
Cheers, Maria.
Cheers,
Thank
all,
you.
they're all good. Gins, so far so good. But
Thanks a million, Maria. That's great.
Ah. Listen,
Adrian's finished his.
Oh, yeah. Where you
he's-
gone?
he-
You're going to need a bottle
I
of
was
that?
just thinking it was very strange that the people behind Richard hadn't moved in like a significant length of time. Now I realise it's a background. I'm not joking.
I've just spotted.
That's the crowd. Is it the crowd or something? The crowd.
What's the background?
I think he's in the crown.
it's the crown, isn't it?
so right.
Richard's background's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You know.
But it's so realistic. It's just like I thought he was in a bar, and I'm like, they still haven't moved, and it's like half an hour, an hour.
There's something up the top that keeps moving though.
Richard, just when we're talking about you, Richard, is your wife enjoying the gin? Because this is more. Is it?
Yeah, she's in the background. She's been hitting the gin hard, so
Good.
she didn't want to be seen sloppy or anything. So.
Good.
Right.
Good.
No, she's enjoying it. In fact, this last one, the Kalawans, was exceptional. She really likes the citrusy ones, and just even having a little splash of the tonic in there just really brought out the citrus.
There you go.
Does
There you
indeed.
go.
I know we said that the botanicals in this are native, but we did cheat because lemons don't grow too well in the morning, so we bought it.
I can not using Tesco's Newry.
I'm sure Ligo looked at Kalawan's lemonade, right?
Don't worry, Brendan. We tried growing them in Verbena on Terry's property in the first year, and it wasn't the biggest success in the world.
There's no
We've got it sorted for next year going forward, but the first year of trying to do it, let's not talk about it.
You can imagine like they thrive in like the Middle East and really balmy, not really the morns. But that's something you can't sow. If you have to buy them, then so be it.
You need it in. Even the juniper, our juniper trees died. We had lovely juniper trees.
You're not picking them out the back. What were you picking out the back of the distillery?
Oh yeah, the other ones, wild mint and fuchsia.
I don't remember what's in your flower bed. If you look at the side of your distillery, what's in the flower bed?
We're doing heather and hibiscus. It hasn't been released yet, and then there's the wild mint in there too. It's a big part of that.
Brendan, did you give me a bottle of gin?
No, you're sitting on a Apache. It's top secret. it's going to be released this year too.
I'm not going to tell anyone. I thought I wasn't sure.
Sausage on the go?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, come on up.
Right, we're going to move
your
on.
podcast's amazing, but like
We're going to move on to your.
every bad hangover I've had is because of that podcast.
Yeah, Louise, you're right. It blows ahead of you. Like everything we release.
Big stuff, so I love it.
We're going to move on
I
to
see
your number
your motto is there,
27.
Brandy.
27.
I see
Okay.
what the sun is.
It's gross, sorry.
So number 27 is Copeland. Okay. So Copeland gin. You'll notice it's got a little bit of colour to it. Yeah. Okay. So this is Copeland gin. 57% alcohol.
Paul, sorry. Is this the Navy strength?
This
I
is
just
Navy
asked that.
strength. 57%.
All right, I can grab that. William, give me some. I'm going to
Good,
grab some.
good.
Is this the latest one or the initial release?
This is the recent one that I have here. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
This is 57%. And it's actually matured in Kentucky bourbon barrels for 120 days. So it's gin which has been kept in the Kentucky bourbon barrels for 120 days, and then it's been transferred out of those Kentucky bourbon barrels into Oloroso casks for 20 days. Okay. So really, 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 really alcoholic.
That just right away on that note. Just hits just there.
You can obviously tell it's a whiskey distillery with putting their spin on a gin.
Yeah.
It's the Brendan will probably know. Ben, what is it you're allowed? It's how many weeks are you allowed in a cask?
Yes.
For the gin?
For the newbie strength, is it 10 weeks?
No, I think that's just poaching. I think gin is your own rules.
Yeah, I thought there was I could have sworn there was a time limit on it.
Wow.
Oh, there probably is.
That's me going to read the technical file later. Well, whatever.
We could stop for 3 years. So, see.
Well, I could have sworn William said there was a time limit on how long it could be in for.
For gin?
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's a lot of alcohol there. Yeah.
Here's the answer.
That is so good.
Orla.
If you like whiskey, you like this.
Orla and
Definitely orange in it.
Orla. Are you having fun, Orla?
Yep, enjoying myself.
And what do you make of that last one there?
I haven't framed up enough to sip it by itself.
See, this wasn't for me at all. I've been struggling with all of them, to be honest.
I'm not used to drinking gin neat at all.
Very different to throwing them into a mixer and throwing them into like a cocktail. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know what? It's not for everyone. Orla, so listen, I have no problems with you getting the mixers out and you going for it. You try and drink whatever you need to drink there.
Yeah, got the lemonade.
Orla's been trying to say she's definitely been doing it on the slide, but she just hasn't let on.
It's a very good crossover, I think. And Newbie strength is fantastic.
Brilliant.
I actually do neat and then mix maybe like the second half was just kind of get that difference. But
I've tasted them all neat.
Good.
Just to see what I like. But I've had it to talk.
yeah, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
Are you-
Copeland really like whiskey.
Like it is. I have actually enjoyed tasting them neat because I've never done that. And to be honest, I thought a lot of
You're liking it, Megan, now? You're enjoying that kind of process?
Yeah, I thought it was really. Anytime I drink gin, I'm like, that's takes so much in this.
Yeah.
There's massive differences.
Yeah.
And this one, obviously, some guards shoving whiskies in my face all the time. Like that's more whiskey-ish, like than the previous ones. But I like it. Like obviously, something's rubbed off on me from whiskey shoved in my face. Like that. But that's probably. I don't like that many whiskeys, but I do like that. I do like that little whiskey bit on gin. It's nice.
Yeah.
There's some good kind of crossovers, that kind of amalgamation between the two. So I think it works really well from that end. Like I love those.
Why is this like the dark colour? Sorry if you explained that already.
Sorry, Maria?
What I'm saying, why is it dark? You know, usually gins are obviously clear.
Yeah,
Did you explain that already?
Yeah, this is because it's been in a cask, so it's aged in a cask, and the cask itself is a Kentucky bourbon cask. Chances are, it's I don't know. I don't think it's going to be first fill. Maybe it's going to be like 3 or 4th fill or something. But it's picking up some colour in there. It's also then going into a sherry cask for a very small, limited amount of time. I think they're using Oloroso Firkins, which means they're smaller casks. They're not big Oloroso casks. I think they're smaller casks. So it's going to impart some colour. The flavours, though, that's imparting is really interesting. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Definitely not
like
just
a really
like
nice.
straight gin, is it?
It's imparting a really nice spice on the front of the tongue. This is giving a really nice warmth spice, which is actually definitely coming from the casks more than the gin.
I'm getting like a pink kind of like peppercorny kind of hit to it. Coffee notes, that kind of unctuous kind of, toffee fudgy, peppery, pink peppercorns. Like that's really what's me with it.
This is my kind of gin because it's nearly a whiskey in some respects.
It's like whiskey. That's why it's your
kind
kind of
of
gin
gin.
because it's not really gin.
Really,
I don't like it.
Crossover.
I'm trying to get you drinking gin, Maria. This is my whole. I want you to come from gin to whiskey. Come to the whiskey. Come to the
I was
dark
going to
side.
say that's your type of gin because it's like a whiskey gin.
Once you go whiskey, you don't go back. That's what I'm saying. So get in there.
Secret plan, Maria. He wants to convert everybody over to whiskey.
And he's as subtle as a brick. He's fooling no one. Like, none of us are deceived at all.
Wait until you get into whiskey, then he converts everybody over to peanuts.
No, that's all we
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
The straw.
That's it.
Get you all drinking Irish whiskey and then bring you to the dark side, to the Scottish stuff. What's that?
Brendan, it's when he brings out the cider with a straw, that's when you don't convert.
Hey,
Definitely after 10 o'clock, yeah.
there's good
Yeah,
reason for that.
that's why
There's
this
good
has moved to
reason
an
for that.
earlier stage tonight.
Don't mock the side on straw. That's a good reason.
Getting a barrack buster. White lightning, thickness and all that.
On the old English next.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
Some
Everyone,
of all straws, Paul, that's what you need to get.
Fiona, I take it there was. I take it you had Copeland. I take it there was some in the jar.
Yes, there was. Thank you. It's smaller. I mean, I'm actually a gin drinker. I'm not really a whiskey drinker. So, I mean, I quite like that, but it's not what I would call a gin.
I would agree. It's not gin.
It's not gin.
Do you know what, Fiona? I agreed with you. That's what I'm saying. It's my type of gin because it's not necessarily gin. It's getting to that
Not
whiskey
gin.
point. I
Right,
agree with
what's
you.
your view on it?
I think it's interesting. I have a bottle in the distillery and I do nip into it now and again.
Is it a gin or is it not a gin?
It's
No,
definitely
it's not a gin.
it's a great
What it is.
Not a gin.
but it's
No way that's
definitely not a whiskey either.
It's like having Ecclesall on a whiskey tasting set and saying,
It's an abomination.
oh, but it's barley or malt or whatever you said earlier. It's not a gin. Oh,
It's definitely.
it's not going to drink at all, but it's not a gin.
Brilliant.
It doesn't know what it is, whether it's a whiskey, a gin.
Yeah. It's an abomination of the
Like,
two of them.
sure.
I don't like it.
I love it.
I like the fact this is very
I love
divisive.
it. I like it a lot.
I'm liking it. I'm liking the fact you're all against each other.
Sorry.
No, everybody's disagreeing. It's brilliant. Nobody.
Yeah, we don't have to have.
50-50.
Wrong answer.
Listen, we're going to move on because I think the next one might be divisive again. Also, so number 28. So you're number 28, which is short cross.
Oh.
Sorry,
I knew.
So the Copeland one, where is it made? Is it actually made on the Copeland Islands?
Donegal.
Donegal.
Yeah. It's made inside of the Copeland Islands. They can see the Copeland Islands from there. So,
I know what dancing around it, naked, killing sheep.
Yes, Fiona.
oh, on that island.
What do you call your other half? He's got the right idea.
When I was yeah, we went on a boat trip with a friend of my dad's, my brother who's here as well. We went to the Copeland Islands on a boat trip with Gilbert. We got off the boat and went for a walk on the island. There was all these burnt sheep. There was like steaks and there was burnt steaks. And my mum couldn't wait to get off the island. I mean, it was just like really spooky.
Did they eat the sheep or just burn them?
Is that the world's worst barbecue or a lot of places?
Yeah, it's okay if they eat them. Hopefully it's a humane
Well, if you're a vegetarian, it's not.
That's the food as well. Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
Liar. That's the most unsincere story that I've ever heard.
I'm going to confess, I was sent the tasty notes for this one, and I've been dying to try it ever since David sent me the tasty notes because it just sounds like it's going to be amazing. So I really hope it lives up to my expectations.
Is this number 20?
Yeah, it's
Number
short
28.
cross.
Yeah, short cross.
So they've done it in a cognac cask for it's 2.5 years, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, cask for 2 years.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that cherry chocolate orange on the nose. What strength is the short cross?
This one here, the ABV on it is actually quite low. I think it's at 43%. I don't think it's overly alcoholic.
After that, there's not even have any alcohol. It's 43%.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of alcohol in this one.
When you're saying that 43% is not a lot of alcohol.
Exactly. I
Whereas like
Sorry,
so-
miscalculation. It's 44%. There you go, 44%. Extra percent.
For Whiskey's Club, 42% slow for us, so Paul's usually drinking half the strength.
So
That's
Well,
your
gin
mark.
only needs to be 37.5.
I really like that.
Usually says
37.5.
So yeah.
gins aren't normally as crazy strong as cast strength whiskies.
Lovely.
That's the other thing. Once you get to whiskey,
So David from the Redmond estate. I went up and purchased this, before Christmas, and got chatting to him. They have their own whiskey, so again, it's reverting back to these guys. They've got whiskey coming. Copeland have all their barrels, sold, I think, from their first kind of bottlings, and then David at Redmond estate.
Redemond. Fucking
Redemond. Sorry. I like Radimon because it's Radimon. Sounds
up
better
the
to
road
me.
from me. I live beside it.
Right. Oh yeah,
Shortcuts we're on.
Yeah.
so we're on the shortcut. And yeah, so basically, he's very excited by this because he's dying to get his whiskey out there. His whiskey is between 4 and 5 years old at the moment. Really, he should have launched it during Belfast Whiskey Week, and he just can't. He just hasn't been able to do it because of coronavirus, and it's not easy for them there just now. But constantly selling gin. He wants you to know this because he couldn't join us tonight, but he wants you to know this. He says this is the cast finish and tasting notes. He says it's fresh, tangy, blood orange peel.
It is lovely.
Yeah, a way to reveal deep chocolate notes and subtle vanilla. Citrus dominates, creating a clean yet inviting nose, reminiscent of indulgent festive afternoons. The palate fizzes with zesty freshness. It's crisp, punchy, hints of orange sherbet and fizzing bath bombs with strong orange notes. This gin would make a perfect twist, and this is his idea of the cocktail, the classic mimosa cocktail for a truly unique brunch treat. There you go. I think, I'll be honest, it smells great.
Yeah.
You know that ice cream, like sherbety thing you used to get back in the kind of 80s, 90s, and it was in a tube, and it was like an orangey sherbety thing. I don't know if it's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that it completely reminds me of that so much. What is that? It was like I think it's like a sherbety kind of like almost like an ice creamy.
Like a sorbet. Yeah, like a sorbet. That's the one.
Yeah.
Like a sorbet. It's really nice. It's quite fizzy. It is fizzy. There's no doubt there's a fizziness to it. Not a spice, but a fizziness. And actually it's citrus fizziness, which is really, really nice. I like that. And it is gin.
Would work really well in it. Yeah. I think so.
Is this different to that you would buy duty free?
Yes, Fiona. This is
different?
This is a complete one-off. One-off. I believe discontinued. I don't think it was. I think it sold out within the matter of weeks that it was released.
That is really bad then. Put it in your tasting box. You can't buy it.
Sorry.
Oh,
Do you want
wow.
me to ask him here nicely if there's any left? I'll ask him here nicely, see if there's any left.
Can you send us all a bottle, please?
Yeah, but I want a bottle.
I love it. Let me see if there's any left. That is lovely. I'm gonna phone him here just now. I'm gonna get him on the phone here. 2 seconds.
David, tell him to come on.
Yeah. Tell me it all. Sometimes the short cross would do the specialised ones in like the local off license in Crossgar.
McGee's, Adrian McGee's have a special moment, do they not?
Is that
David,
Jay?
we're just doing a gin tasting. If I get a wee bit
Yeah,
in the room, we're just doing a wee bit of a gin tasting
Yeah,
here just now,
nice.
and we're going through your fantastic.
I think there's a
cast
rum
stage
finish
course.
as well. A special rum
Do you
finish
want
only
to come
available
on to
through.
this chat? because people have got some
off
questions about it, which
Scar.
we're really interested about.
Sorry, I can't hear you because of Paul's mic. If he mutes himself, it'd be handy.
We're on Teams just now, yeah. We're on Teams just now, or you can come on to the on Teams, yeah. I'll send you the link.
Hassling the distiller.
He's
Come
coming
on, line.
He's
Come
coming
on.
Two,
Come on,
two,
line.
2 minutes. He's coming on.
Adrian, is that a full bottle of Cologne rum I see behind you?
Yes.
It is, yes.
And
Yes.
Don't give him a
Brendan
hard
will be
time.
trying to buy that back if he spots it.
Don't give him a hard time when he comes on.
I
here,
get it.
please.
He's gone.
That's
He's away.
okay. You're
But rum tasting is like, it was a bloody Adrian, so I couldn't have any. It's like, no.
You're not allowed it. That's special. What we're not opening it yet.
To be fair,
Where's
I
the other one?
I know
It's a nice stout finish.
Why can't I have
it still has 3 bottles.
Right. So John, he might come on.
So Brandon only has 2 bottles of it left. What the?
No, Milestone still have bottles sitting out, I think.
Cologne has bottles today. Or no, sorry, Vineyard. Over road.
Vineyard have more.
Yeah, they have bottles.
Have you been doing some sly batches there, Brendy?
Oh, what's this?
The rum?
I think Anzacs were given it. They wanted it, so we give it to them. Irish Malt didn't want too much of it, so Anzac took it. There's still some about Northern Ireland, which is great.
Milestone had them a couple of weeks ago, but I left my wallet in work, so couldn't pick it up.
I expect there definitely isn't a huge amount left.
So
Fiona,
Fiona, you've got your wish there. David just jumping on just now. So
I think you're muted, Paul.
Sorry?
That's good. Keep him muted and let him talk to himself.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Can someone do me a favour and could someone mute everyone else? So John, mute everyone else for me, would you? Yeah, and then unmute.
Yeah, everyone's muted except me. Paul, unmute yourself.
Unmute David, thank you.
He just do it himself.
David, unmute yourself. Hello, David. Thank you. How are we?
Oh,
well, listen. We'll let everyone else keep their mics off just now, but we'll have a quick chat. So we've just gone through. We're on number 8 in the box, which is your liquid. 42%. Am I right?
Yep, it is a little bit lower than our previous cast, but just a nice balance of the flavors.
And listen, look, I explained a fair bit about it, but I think everyone else, really fell in love with it there. So it was a nice little wave of appreciation, and I just thought it'd be nice to get you on the phone, get you involved. So listen, tell us why. What's that all about? Why have you gone for the cast finishing, and what kind of cast? Where are you getting those casks from? And also, is there any left? That's what Fiona needs to know. She needs to know: is there any left?
Okay, well, I'm a big fan of Cascades gins, which we tried the first time we were out in America. Not necessarily the bourbon finish. I don't think always works with gin, but I'm just always sort of been interested in experimenting. And I was talking to one of our cask suppliers from France, and they said we've got something really unusual. It might work for you. So we got the casks over, and we sort of set them aside accidentally in the cask warehouse, and we didn't plan on aging the gin for 2.5 years. It just ended up that way. But it just sort of, that particular cask, with it being French oak, it sort of brings out and rounds out a lot of the flavors. So it's a really good balance to the gin. I think any longer and you'd possibly lose some of the gin character, but I just think it's really nicely balanced. I'd say this is the 3rd Cascades gin we've done. So the first 2 were in Chateau de Ligne red wine casks. The first release was Chateau de Ligne red wine. The next was a Grand Cru Bordeaux wine. I think it was Chateau Canterbell, which we've done with gin wine, and we've done that as a slightly different recipe as well for the gin. And then this one is it's actually our bartender's gin that we've aged. So it's been fun.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest, I really like it. And we had just before yours, just to put in the perspective, we had the Copeland overproof one, which was done in Kentucky barrels for 120 days, and then swapped into Oloroso barrels for 20 days. And it, for me, is really, really good. It's my kind of gin, i.e., it's not nearly a gin, it's nearly a whiskey,
Yeah.
Whereas you've not lost your ginniness. Is that a word? Ginniness? I don't know. But you've not lost it. It's not lost. And listen, thank you very much, Dave, for coming on. But the guys in the room probably want to ask you some questions, and you can chat away to them. So your mics can come back on again. Whenever you want to bring your mic on, you can press a wee button, and you can. So you'll have to do it yourselves manually. So Fiona, if you want to.
I was going to jump in there. So, David, if you put that in for another 6 months, would it become whiskey?
No, definitely not.
The 3 years and whatever.
No, because the botanicals in it, it's, you could argue it's a type of aquavitae, but no, it's pretty much gin regardless of how long it's in the barrel.
Wishful thinking from John.
David, have you any more of the Chateau de la Ligne one? Terry didn't tell me about that.
I don't think so, Jamie. That pretty much sold out for us. We've done 2 releases and we couldn't keep enough of it.
What year barrels did you use from?
Oh, good question. I think some of the stuff we had was quite old. Some of the barrels were quite old.
Okay. Would it be around 14, 15?
Sorry, guys, my broadband's a wee bit hedged here.
That's okay.
I didn't cut dead there.
What year do you reckon it would have been around?
Probably we done the release in 14, so.
Oh, so it's a bit before that then.
So it was quite a while ago. I would say that some of the barrels, if I'm reading them right, are actually 09.
No, I'll drop Barry a message and ask him just out of interest.
There you go. Fiona, do you have a question?
Yeah, just a quick question for you. We actually live in the Cotswolds in England, so if I wanted to buy some of your special edition shortcross, where would I get?
The best is, Fiona, is our website at shortcrossgin.com, and we've got our through that.
So is this still available, David?
Yeah, we've still got some. We're still plenty more to bottle, but we're only going to have about 800 bottles full.
Right. I wasn't sure because when I went, I was trying to get online there to see if it was sold. Maybe I looked at the wrong one and it said sold out. So maybe that's my bad. So I'm glad that you've cleared that one up. So that's good.
Yeah. David, just quick check on your website. Is it listed as limited edition, or what would we be looking for?
If you look for the cask aged gin, at the minute, because we are closed for their Christmas closure, our online shop will not be shipping any orders till the 4th of January. So
it sounds accurate.
That's a new month there, David. Here, that's a
very
end of that month.
So, guys, on our right, Fiona's just passed me her iPad. On our web shop, it's under new cask aged short cross gin.
Thank you.
David,
if you get on camera, come on, say hello.
Hey, Fiona.
David, thanks for a great visit to your distillery about a year ago with Fiona and John. And I think there's a couple of orders on the way in.
Okay, very much, guys. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. That's the main thing for us.
Really, really good, yeah. Loved it.
Cheers, David.
Trying to get on to the shop to buy one now.
You know, David, yeah, I can see it now,
Also
David.
run out of my normal gin.
I can see it
my
now.
normal short cross is empty. I have to go and restock.
I know Adrian was jealous the other day. Went to pour himself some gin. He was like, "Oh, bottle's nearly finished. What am I going to do?"
I think you two are on the flag.
So yeah, so just to clarify, David.
You don't need a flag. You don't need a flag.
David,
I have to pay to help local.
Just to
My
clarify.
short cross bottle was empty actually. It leaked under the
I still
sponge.
got plenty. I'm fine. I will stop.
Another one.
Along with Mecklenville and my cologne. So
Go ahead, Maria.
yeah, it's not good.
Just to clarify, David, it's 100%.
Short cross and microwave. I am well stocked. So
You're lucky my wee button doesn't work here, Louise. I'll be buttoning you right now. 2 seconds. David, just to clarify, this is on your website is new cask aged short cross gin, £40, yes?
Yes, that's it.
Super. Excellent. No, thank you very much, David. And David, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Well,
So sorry
thanks
for
as well,
disturbing
by the way, because I've just bought it one.
yeah, I think you should buy for us too, haven't you, Adrian?
Try to, try to.
Have a great
you. Cheers, David. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers, David.
Good to see you, David.
Yeah.
Bye.
The pulling power you guys have to get him on board, that was really important. Well done. Super. Excellent.
It's the first time I've seen David on an event.
Calm it down, Carlo.
He did.
A couple of the whiskey
He was on. He was on thingy. He was on at the
Was he
start of the
really?
week. Sure.
Yeah.
David from Starcross.
Yeah, he was on the start of the week.
Was he in the middle of a disco there, the lights flashing, or was it the police?
I. Do you know what I think it was? I think it's those, you know, those halogen.
All in Belfast.
It was a halogen light. I think it was a halogen light flickering.
Oh, it's like
If
Right,
you
so-
think that's my hospital lines, I have multiple lights going on here.
Now we're
Yeah.
listen. Now we've got a bit of an issue. You need your brains to be focusing at this point. Okay, ready?
You picked the wrong damn evening for that.
Okay, so listen. Your last drop of the night is bottle number 1. Am I right?
Oh.
Okay. Now listen to me. There's 2 bottles here. There's one which is a green label and one that has a black label. Show me your bottles just to make sure that I've got that 100% correct.
Paul, this is all we need, a complete head.
Black label.
This time of night.
Where's your label, Maria? Show me your
Like,
label.
what colour's what from what?
Right.
Read it like 8:15.
Haha.
I know it's been on here since like 6:30.
Well,
It's like
you're doing really
46%.
well. You're doing really well, Maria.
Done.
Right, the white one you've got.
Yeah.
Whiskey from Mike.
Okay, so everyone that has a white label. Okay, everyone that has a white label, you are drinking or going to be drinking the Sleeve League. Can we read that?
Yes, I will do
Yeah,
it.
so that's the Andulliman. Yeah, this is the Irish
Maritime.
Maritime Gin. Yeah, comes in at 43.2%. Okay, so it's using seaweed 5 Donegal seaweed botanicals. Okay, those that have got the black bottle are going to be drinking this, which is the Andulliman. Yeah, but the Armada strength gin. Okay, 57%.
Well, I got both.
That's because you've got a different. You've got a different one. That's good. So yeah. So does that make sense? Everyone that's got the black label is drinking this. This is the Armada strength gin. All right. Okay. Aged in Rocca.
Oh, can you show it to the YouTube camera for me? I can't see on Teams.
This is the so sorry. Apologies. This is the black.
Please, don't drink all of that. I want some.
This is the black label.
Here, I'll give you
Black,
half this one.
black label. All right. And then this one here is the green label. Okay, white with green number on it. Listen, very exciting. Two very different gins. Okay. So look, they're very small bottles, and I think exactly what happened was when I'd ordered both of them. I only ordered one of each, so they were a wee bit small, and then I ended up having to decide. Well, I didn't have enough, so I had to do 2 different bottles, which is perfectly fine. Do you know what I mean? So some of you got one, and some of you got the other. But those that have never tried the Irish Maritime Gin, you're in for a treat. I believe it's a very very different type of taste to what you're going to have been used to ever.
Very nice.
So I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to start with the green label, the seaweed one. I'm going to have a wee nip at it. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a lot of information which is given.
You get seaweed.
Definitely getting the seaweed on the nose.
Good.
You get
Salt
just
in it.
seaweed. It's like dulse.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
don't know
liquid.
how I feel about
It generally is liquid dulse, which is really nice.
Paul,
Yeah.
I don't have it here, but does it come across like the whiskey, the Concurrent whiskey? You get the same sort of scent coming through?
No. This really comes across as being really not
More
gin.
pungent on it?
Yeah, on the nose, on the nose, it smells like a gin.
Okay.
On the taste, really, really different. Really salty, more than it would
Fish
be.
market.
I've got savory notes more than the spices and the florals. It's more savory. I'm really liking it.
Is it come across better on the whiskey palate or the gin palate of seaweed?
On the gin palate.
To be fair, yeah. I thought it would have been better with the gin than the whiskey.
Yeah, definitely better with the gin. Yeah, and it's because that's actually really, really, really nice. I'll be honest, I was very surprised there. I don't know if I was expecting that again. You know what I mean? I've had it before, but I was like, it's not a go-to drink for me. You know, and maybe it could be. And then the next
I think
one.
it works if you're not used to like Gordon's gin or straight heavy juniper gin. It works as a drink, but if you're expecting gin, you might be disappointed.
Oh,
because of the seaweed.
Yeah,
overtaken.
there's not that. That's what I'm saying on the taste. It's
not for me at all.
It's hard to put. Who's that, Maria?
That's me.
I'm glad.
I might as well just take a dip in the sea and open my mouth.
I'm glad we're breaking you down here. I'm glad we're breaking you down.
It's not. It reminds me of going swimming in the sea when I was a child and like falling in water by accident.
Right?
Am I right in saying that they use different types of seaweed for this one?
Well,
it wasn't just one particular
It's
seaweed.
five different botanicals from seaweed. So it's using 5 different seaweed botanicals. Yeah. It says Andalaman balances the umami freshness of the sea with soft juniper, citrus, and spice notes. It really does have that beautiful citrus calming note, which is really nice. You know what? I could drink that warm. I think that would be nice in something warm. I don't know how I'm going to put it into something warm, but I could do that. Adrian, you've got your hand up.
No, I didn't. Did by accident. Sorry.
Good. It was good that you acted like a good schoolboy and put your wee hand up there. That was important. You know what I mean? You can go to the toilet at any time. I'm not going to stop you.
I thought you
would. Me to just talk.
And then look, the next one. Say again?
It's so much better than the Dulcinea Atmosphere.
Yeah, here, the Lamasphere at Ballycastle.com. Yeah. Here, it is. Would you eat the Dulce, would you?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. You know what? It's a very well. I think it's a Marmite thing. A lot of people don't like it, and a lot of people here really do love it. Well, I mean, it's
either love or hate it.
Yeah, either love.
But you go for like the flowing whiskies and things with the heavy heat, the sea on them.
Yeah. Me personally, 100%. I like anything.
I guess that Joel that I mentioned.
Do you like it?
Are you asking me?
Like it?
Yes.
Yeah, did he like it?
No, I like that. Is it? I'm just going to drink the Armada strength, which is, again, probably what is that now? The most alcoholic of the night, 57%.
Is this the black one?
Yeah, black label. Yeah.
It's really nice. I didn't think I'd like it. It's like a saltiness to it. Louise, you'd love this.
Oh, I'm jealous.
It's also got a perfume. It's also quite perfumey. So it's got like a perfumey kind of note. And again,
is it in the sense of like Parma violet and those little floral sweets, or?
I like that.
No, it's quite warming as well. It's quite hot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like that one.
That comparison between the one that I'm having and the one that you're having, Adrian?
Yeah, no.
There's a big difference.
They're night and day. They are night and day between the flavors, like night and day.
I think the Armada strength is a bit like you make with the rough edges taken off.
Yeah. And here the wine cask they're using a Rocca wine cask, and yet the Rocca wine cask is not drying out my mouth. It's actually quite. Well, it's actually.
That's really good.
It's actually quite sweet. It's not drying out like a wine cast finished whiskey maybe that you maybe would expect, and I do like that.
That's really good.
It's really like rounded as well. There's a lot of flavors there.
Would you put water in it?
I think that's it.
Nah, I wouldn't.
Sorry, John.
I like it as it is, but don't want something else from the mouth if you put a bit of water in.
No, I think it's really nice, Trip. Maybe like
it's not just the same, except one's a cask strength and one's at 43.
I wouldn't have thought that was a cask strength that doesn't kick. Like some of the cast drinks do.
It's at 57%. I mean, it's not. I mean, you can drink a lot of it. Like, to be honest.
It's got a warmth on the back.
Brandon making his dinner. I can like hear his crash.
Is it Brendan Carty? Kick him out.
He's feeding the cat.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was
You're
making some
alright.
toast. Do you want some?
I'd love some.
Come on, Brandy. What's on the toast?
I forgot to turn off my mic.
You're making curry. You're making toast. You're always cooking something, Brandon.
And this is
I'm
pretty,
really jealous.
pretty anxious.
What
You know, being on.
Who had who had the black label there? Who had the black label
I
again?
did.
I
Adrian?
did, Michelle.
Yep.
Michelle,
I did,
yeah,
yep.
super. Megan, what colour did you have?
She's making toast as well. Look.
The white one.
That's hard to toast.
Super. You had the white one, Megan, yes. And what did you make of that? What did you think of it?
I thought I could see the CBD side of it, and I wasn't a big fan of that.
Right.
It
Okay.
probably wasn't my favourite.
Right. No, yeah, fair enough. And I think that is slightly very controversial in terms of like or dislike on the CBD idea. Yeah. Orla, what one did you have there?
We had the green label.
And what did you make of the seaweed caskings or the seaweed botanicals?
Kind of sat in your mouth, isn't it?
Yeah, that was great.
I felt it kind of like just sat there with you for a long time after you drank it.
Yeah, it had a long finish. Yes.
In a good way or a bad way?
Did you like it?
Well, for me, a bad way. Like I would like I would have dulce when I'm like at Lamb's Fair or whatever, Ballycastle, but I wouldn't go for this now. I think it's sat just too long.
Okay. I definitely would also have Dulce. I mean, if we're going to have some sort of I'll have that also. But yeah, the Dulce, it's very divisive, isn't it? I mean, I know a lot of people who just avoid it, but I also know people who drive all the way along that coast route and stop off at the wee houses and beg for it. Not mean? So yeah, it's one of those ones. Okay. Anyone else have the black one that thought it was good? I want to know about the black one for a second.
I really like it.
I love the black one.
You
I
love
love
the black one,
the
yeah.
strength.
Michelle,
Yeah,
did
there
you
was a smell. It wasn't overly ginny. I could sit and drink it.
Michelle, did you like the black one?
Yeah, we really enjoyed the black one, Paul.
Good. Okay,
Definitely. It was one of the better ones of the night, we felt.
super. Okay. Excellent.
Quite a lot of spice on it as well. A lot of heat.
A lot of heat in the back.
Yeah.
Richard,
57% alcohol.
Richard, you had
Rocket fuel.
You had the seaweed one, did you?
We had the black.
Oh, you had the black. Well, what do you make of the black one then?
House divided. I particularly didn't like it, but my wife really enjoyed it. So
Well, Richard, it's all about your wife tonight. It's not about you. It's all about your wife. So the fact that she's satisfied, I'm happy. I'm a happy man. Huh?
exactly. As long as she enjoys it, that's all that matters.
Super. Exact. Super.
Oh, where
stuff.
did you get the black one? The black label one from? Is it available to buy locally, or did you get it online?
You can buy now. Actually, to buy it locally, no, because it's not. The Andulliman, I think, is actually in. So the seaweed one, the Irish Maritime, is in Tesco's, but the other one, the Armada Strength, no, not specifically. You can buy it from irishmalts.com, or you can. I think I've also seen it on Master of Malt, which deliver here also. So online I've definitely seen it. You can buy it online. The distillery don't send to the north at the moment. I don't think they deliver to the north, but I would definitely go with those two websites I gave you. So that's Master of Malt or Irish Malts, and you'll get them there. But and actually not overly expensive. I think just the right kind of price. I think they're not asking for too much. Anyway, listen. It's been very. I suppose it's been. I think it won out. I think the idea of doing this type of gin tasting won out. I think it's a winner in that respect. Whether or not they're all great is debatable, but it's a winner in terms of how we've tasted this. Unless someone wants to disagree and thinks this was absolutely awful, I will accept that. I will take criticism. There is no
No,
doubt
I think
about that.
I think it's a great way to taste gin.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I've been at a couple of gin tastes and you usually get like the same gin and 4 or 5 different serves. So it's nice to have a bunch of gins to compare together. I don't think it's enough to be able to do like a gin club, but you know, it's nice to have a couple of different options.
We've got some of our taste like. It's nice to be able to do that direct comparison though, because I think more often than not, whenever you do a gin tasting, it's with a specific brand, so it's about them showcasing their actual gin. So they'll do their signature serves and they'll do various different kind of cocktail connotations, but very rarely do you get to do what we get to do at Whiskey Club, where you get to do a like for like comparison. That's why I was really intrigued to do tonight's tasting, because you don't really get the opportunity to do that very often with gin.
No. Richard, what were you saying? Richard, what were you saying?
Versus Revenge.
Oh, sorry, Fiona.
Versus Revenge. I was one of the first new Irish gins I tried. I had a really bad experience with it. I think it was a quantity probably the welcome taste. So I'm glad you didn't do this.
Good. I'm glad.
Actually, Versus Revenge. Just dreadful. Horrible.
Well,
the only gin I've never been able to drink.
I'm glad I didn't bring that to the table.
What
then.
was that?
Revenge. It's based. I think it's based on milk, isn't it?
Yeah, it's made from milk curd.
Oh, that sounds awful. Black milk vodka or something.
I want to
it's
get
the same product that does the black milk vodka. It's just a spin-off.
Yeah, that's right. And here like grass vodka as well. Geez, like bison grass vodka. Tell me this. I just want to gauge the best gin for you alone tonight. Just pick one. That's all I want. So I'm going to start. I'm going to come to you individually, so I don't get like overwhelmed with all your voices, because you're all beautiful. We'll start with Fiona and Hubby. Go for it.
Obviously, could judge one of them. In fact, I know this is like chicken and egg. I actually liked them all apart from Dingle. I didn't like the Dingle one at all.
Okay.
But we've just ordered a bottle of Short Cross, so that will have to come pretty close. And I liked, in fact, I liked them all, as I said, apart from Dingle.
Super.
So I'll get a word in space. So I like Copeland, was my favourite.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. Good.
John's a whiskey drinker. He's not a gin drinker.
Good man, John. Good. Get you drinking more whiskey. Good man. Good. Okay, we'll go up to Ian. Ian, what's the favourite for the night?
Paul, again, Fiona John, sister and brother-in-law. I'm not a gin drinker. I don't like gin. I'm always whiskey or a dark sipping rum when I was in the cold yesterday. I've been amazed tonight. I've always put gin give me a sec. I've always put gin as a bland spirit filled with other stuff.
Yeah.
I've been amazed that there's actually content. One or two I wasn't keen on, but there's a couple here. And I've never tried gin, never thought of doing gin as a straight drinker, the same as I would with whiskey or rum. And I'd sent to Fiona and John earlier going, it's straight, this is unusual. Great idea. Probably in the collection, the Cologne was great. The gunpowder was great. The Short Cross. I have been amazed of how good, as a non-gin drinker, I just don't go near it.
Yeah.
You've done a great.
You do now.
Yeah, but I would never. I just don't drink spirits with a fruit salad and a bucket full of rubbish dumped in it.
Good.
Great choice, great selection.
Cheers.
Thanks, Paul.
No worries at all. Thank you very much. And what about our lovely wife? What's your thought? What's your favourite of the night?
Oh my gosh! I don't know. I've picked my favourite. My favourite is probably got to be the Kilwen or Short Cross.
Good choice.
Those two really, really like. I'm really impressed. I'm a gin drinker, so I do enjoy it.
The lassie from Somerset. We're in Bristol.
What? Bristol gin.
No. You don't have to say that, do you? That's very racist comment, isn't it?
A cider drinker.
Sorry.
Grown up in the cider, were we? Brought up in cider.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you were. You were. Oh.
When I was 18, you could get absolutely drunk for £1.
I know.
2 pints of scrumpy, and that was it. You were done for the night.
Damn right. Damn
Where's
Skippy.
that place like beside of there?
Sorry.
I have been on that roller coaster, yeah. 2 glasses of coffee is like, thank you and good night.
Richard, we'll come to you.
Cider tasting next.
Richard, we'll come to you. What was your favourite of the night, Richard?
Me personally, I like the Copeland's. The Copeland's was really very flavorful.
Yeah.
It had a lot going on. And as far as my wife, she kind of liked the Copeland's. She was torn between that, the Cologne, and the Ninth Wave.
Super. Excellent. Well, thank you. I hope she enjoyed herself. That's good. Thank you very much, Richard. Orla.
And by the way, as far as that Andulaman Santa Ana,
yeah,
Celtic Whiskey Shop actually sells it
as well. Celtic Whiskey Shop. There you go. There's another outlet, and they do deliver.
Comments there. If anyone wants to buy it.
Yeah, they deliver up here, so that's good. They deliver to the north. Orla, and you hear me? Yeah. What was your favorite?
Yeah.
What was your favorite tonight?
I think the Ecklandville was my favorite. Like it was I don't know if mindless is the right term, but like it was very smooth. Whereas I found a lot of the ones that were like very strong botanicals were like a bit too spicy. Not I don't know if spicy is the right term, but like were a bit much.
Okay.
For me, like, and then the Ecklandville was very like almost a bit like it was 100% malt, so it had a bit of like a smoother finish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spot on. And what about yourself, young man? What about you?
I have to say, like previous has been said, I wasn't a gin drinker before this, and unfortunately, I don't think I will be a gin drinker after this.
Well, whatever.
But I have to say, we were down in Dingle there during the summer, and we had Dingle gin down there, and it was lovely. So I have fond memories of the Dingle gin, so I'll go for that one as the favourite.
Super. Oh, listen, thank you very much. And here, that was nice. And did Paddy got you that as a present for your Christmas?
Yeah.
He's a lovely guy. We love Paddy. Big fan of Paddy. He's a good one. Thank you, Orla. Thank you. Megan, let's go to you. Megan, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I don't know. I actually really enjoyed the Copeland. I am not a whiskey drinker, Paul, as you know, but I do feel like it's probably Gareth and I really enjoyed it. But I also actually so many. I love malt. Not malt, but a lot of them. Probably the Method of Madness and Action would have been there. But I probably have too much to drink between those. But yeah,
Super.
I definitely game changer. Like tasting them neat.
Good.
I have learned a lot from just doing that. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got the night off as well instead of that wee rugrat getting all the limelight. You know what I mean?
Oh, I fucking deserve it, doesn't it?
100% you do. Damn Skippy, Megan. Damn Skippy, you do. Louise?
I think for me personally, in terms of gin, like the Cologne, the Ninth Wave, and the Short Cross would be 3 gins that would tend to be regularly on my 4 carts, and those are my kind of go-to gins. But I will be honest, the Copeland and the new cask finish Short Cross I thought was absolutely phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed those. I think there was something a bit different, and obviously because, as you guys know, I'm a total whiskey drinker as well. I feel like they could take the best elements of what I love about gin and whiskey and combine them together to create something that's really interesting and something that I would really enjoy drinking. So for me, the highlight of the night has to be the Copeland and the Short Cross for that reason.
Good. Okay. Super. Let's have a look. Michelle?
My favourite was probably the Ninth Wave, the first one of the night. That was the one that really stood out to me, whereas Tom probably likes the Armada strength at the end.
Oh, right.
In fact, so much so what the Armada strength was.
It's not a bottle. So Master Malt is maybe a site to avoid at the minute though, because they're saying they don't deliver because of Brexit to Northern Ireland. So,
Buggers.
but
Yeah, there's. I can. Brendan, you'll probably know this one in a minute. I'll take this away for a second. We have personally been hit big time by Amazon. We make it here, put it across the water to their warehouse in England, and nobody in Northern Ireland can no longer buy it because of Brexit. Amazon, I know, finally, we've had about 12 emails from just before Christmas saying that Amazon are now cancelling orders on us to anybody in Northern Ireland, which is the start of it, basically.
Ouch.
Quite a lot of it.
Ouch.
Get directly then use.
Pardon?
Do you post from hence yourselves, or do you only go through Amazon?
Just because we've only opened our distillery, our license only kicked in. So up until our license kicked in, we couldn't sell directly, and then we have a new web store launching in the next couple of weeks. But you can find it in Northern Ireland. You can find it in all good independents, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, and Wankler.
Okay,
There you go. There you go. Okay, and then who else have we got? Adrian.
I really forgot what I was going to say. With all that debate going along there, I really like the Cologne. Like, I'm not just like blowing smoke up your ass, Brandy, but I actually really enjoyed the Cologne.
Cheers, buddy.
I did like the Shortcross because local loyalty, but I do Shortcross is my favorite. I really didn't like the Copeland.
The empty bottles behind them.
Yeah,
Nor did
but
I.
I didn't like the Copeland because it's not whiskey, it's not gin. It's like it's not enough of one thing or another to be anything.
Right.
But yeah, so I have ordered online just now a bottle of the Cologne gin, and I've ordered another bottle of that the Shortcross as well. So those are my two standouts. Just retried the Ecklenville and the Night Haven, like really nice whiskies as well, or sorry, gins. They're screwing up my head, Paul.
Sorry.
But yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff. Like the Copeland is the only one that really stood out as something I didn't enjoy. Again, just because it's neither. It's like what I've said before. It's an abomination.
Fair enough. Maria.
For me, it was Ecklenville and Cologne, no doubt. But like Adrian said, for me, all of them were nice. But the Copeland, nah, that's a hybrid that I don't ever want to ever experience in my life ever again. I'm like, either take it to whiskey club, don't bring it to gin club, put it somewhere in the ether that none of us ever have to experience it again.
It doesn't sit either camp. It's like
just don't ever put that on us again.
I didn't ask William to come into this call.
But
so is there anyone on here that makes it?
William was nearly going to be joining us.
We could have
Gareth all the rest, I wouldn't allow to drink that. I wouldn't put in the worst cocktail of my life. Now, saying that, I still drink the full bottle. Gladly. But it was Cologne and Ecklenville were really close tie. But I Copeland don't ever do that again.
Cheers, Maria. I'm just
maybe try the standard Copeland because the standard Copeland is actually really nice.
Well,
yeah, no, but I'm now scarred for life after that.
Maria's
the normal one is really good. You should try it as well.
We're going to go.
Why would you do that, Des? What even was it? It was a hybrid from outer space.
That was actually interesting stuff.
John, what's your favorite? John, what's your favorite?
Like I said, I didn't have the full set tonight because I was supposed to be sharing with somebody else. Right. They just took the whole lot.
What's better?
Are you online?
I loved the Armada Strength Ulman. That was amazing.
Right.
Ecklenville, I absolutely loved. And Brendan's Cologne surprised me. It was more ginny than I would normally like. I would say the winner of tonight, I probably would call him Ecklenville. Just that creaminess.
Yeah. Okay.
From the malt coming through as a whiskey drinker. I could drink that. I had it in the Everglades in Derry one night as a gin tonic, and it blew me away. And I don't drink gin tonic, but just a creamy, flavorful, sweet, clean drink. Blew me away.
Good.
That'll be my winner.
Thank you very much. I have Justin. I mean, I haven't spoken to Justin all night, but Justin's here. And I'm just wondering if Justin wants to say anything. You're more than welcome to take your mic off and talk to us. If not, don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna. I don't expect it. Oh, here we go.
Hey, Bob.
Hello, Justin. Did you enjoy that?
We have some gin experts here. Well, the gin experts now.
Super, good. What was your favorite, Justin? What was your favorite?
We've done a vote, and it's Elkinville or the Sleeve League.
Yeah.
We had the Armada string, which is really good.
Yeah.
Really.
It really
There's
was.
not enough Castor gins.
It really was
So
good. Justin, what did you make of the format tonight? Tasting gin neat. What did you make of that?
We didn't know what to expect, and we really enjoyed it. And I said the girls they normally mix it with stuff, and it was a new experience to try it straight out of the whiskey glasses. So really good. Enjoyed it.
Good.
Great evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I know, Charlie, you've been watching us, but you didn't have the box in front of you. But have you enjoyed your evening, Charlie?
Actually, I have. I think you should ask me what my favorite was.
Oh, okay. What's your sorry, Charlie. What was your favorite? What was your favorite?
No, all of you guys.
Oh, okay. Now you're just being very kind. Now you're being very kind, Charlie. Thank you very much.
I'm not really a gin drinker myself. I have tried a couple. I really like gins too. Is one, and there is a Norwegian one that is really good. And I also drink my gin straight. No tonic.
Good. Well, I think we're learning that can be done. That can certainly be done. Listen,
whiskey now.
Whiskey first, gin somewhere else. It's maybe second. Listen, I'm going to start making some cocktails. You guys can do what you like. You can head on. There's no expectations that you stick around. I'm going to come off. I might just leave that running. It doesn't bother me. It can run. I'm just going to start making some cocktails by myself for the crack. I will tell you what I'm putting in them, and if you ever want to try and experiment, you can do. But they're my own little takes on certain types of cocktails. So yeah, I've had loads of crack. So I really do appreciate you all getting involved. And sometimes you just have to try different things, and I think that's been very important. That we tried it like this type of format was important for me. So if you want to know what I'm going to be making, I'm going to make 3 cocktails specifically. First one I'm going to use is using a Pessoa, which is a passion fruit liqueur. So I'm going to use that with some grapefruit juice and some strawberry syrup. Okay. So I'm going to use that. All right, that's my first one. Okay, and then I'm going to be using the second one. I'm going to be using elderflower liqueur, along with some lime, and a wee bit of mint as a garnish for that. Okay, and some straight tonic water. There's Jarlath Watson on. Listen, Jarlath, we'll come to you in 1 second. And then the third one I'm going to do a whole raspberry thing. So I'm going to do a raspberry and rose with raspberry liqueur, and I'm going to do with a little bit of lime juice. Okay, so nice, fresh, fun cocktails just for the crack. Yeah. But you guys can stay on there. You can talk to each other. Do what you like. I have no problems. Join in. Make your own cocktails. I don't care. Drink the rest of your gin. If you manage to drink all 9 of them, wow. Just wow. That's a lot of alcohol.
It's empty. It was full at the start. It's empty now.
Jarlath Watson, just to let everyone know, Jarlath Watson just joined the conversation. Jarlath is the man in the know down in Ecklinville. Just to let you know, the winner, really, I mean, if we're looking at this, the people who have kind of totted it up, but both Cologne and Ecklinville both scored the same there, really, with Shortcross right behind it, and then Copeland. So actually, really nice to see. It then goes down to 9th wave, and then we get the Armada, and we get Meth and Madness, and then we get the Dingle. Unfortunately, Copeland actually gets it's 50-50, but a lot of people cite Copeland as being really nice. So Ecklinville and Cologne are the 2 at the top of the tree. So everyone liked it, Charlie. Don't know why. It's something to do with that maltiness and the creaminess.
I just went the right time, didn't I?
You did.
It tastes like heaven. That's why we like it. What do you mean why? It tastes like you really tried had a brilliant dream. You woke up and you were still in your dream. That's why we like it. That's why people like it. That's why.
Where's Brendan's branded goods? Jarlath has got his on. I've got mine on, but Brendan doesn't have his t-shirt on.
Sorry, I just wearing his constantly.
I'm representing colour tonight.
I was up the bloody mic.
Oh, there's Connor. Paul has McConnell's on.
Brendan, you haven't given me any freebies yet. Jarlath has given me loads of freebies. Jamie, you haven't given me any freebies either.
The story in the supermarket sweep.
Not a bother. You're closed now.
Representing.
We're having a debate because we trade under an off-sales license for the gift shop. It's a question of do we want to open morally or do we want to keep it closed?
Look at that lovely ice box.
You have good merch.
Lovely ice box. See that?
Pardon?
You have good merch.
Oh, I'm jealous, Paul.
There's a hoodie.
Okay, stick one side to me. I'll be up tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Lovely wee sputter there. Look at the size of it. My ice cubes are huge tonight. Look.
I'm going to get ice balls.
Charlie has the freedom whiskey top on. Good.
Right, what's happening with these cocktails you spoke of, Paul?
I'm making some cocktails. Damn Skippy.
I don't want to miss out.
Damn Skippy, I'm making some cocktails.
Maria, you give Kip
That's the first time I've seen the Ectonville.
What did you say, Brendan?
I've seen the Dunstable
guy in the whiskey club. He speaks his mind. His name's Kip Charles. You'd give him a run for his money.
Where's Kip Charles? What is he tonight?
Well, that.
Yeah, Kip number 2.
Sorry.
And just let people know.
Oh, it's good.
You can buy these really nice. Look at that Andulliman glass. Look at that. That's really quite smart, eh? Big chunky. I'll be using that for my cocktail. And I'll be using one of them. Look at that big tumbler. Yeah, loving that. We're using that. Going to get myself.
I've never seen a tumbler like that in all my days.
Yeah.
You got the Ectonville ones, don't you?
Who, me?
What?
So there's my three.
Where's please go come back so I can see.
My three glasses for tonight. I've got this. I've got my copper tumbler. Yeah, copper tumbler. Got to use that. Then I've got my Andulliman. Okay, lovely big kind of chunky gin glass. Love that. And I'm going to use my Redbreast. My cheeky wee Redbreast tumbler.
Oh, your party hat pathetic.
My party hat's class, eh?
No, I think it's pathetic. I think it needs like a wee Viagra or something.
All right. Calm down, my hat. Like. It's from a what do you call it? Cracker.
Why is Brendan covering his face? Is it not white? It looks like white.
Blasted.
It just looks like it's had enough at Christmas. Toss him back.
He's only used it once.
Only brought it out the cracker.
He's starting away now.
Oh, outside comes a one t-shirt for a buy.
Yeah.
Your High Life.
Charlie's got the branded gear out too.
Seen the Freedom Whiskey top.
Wait, maybe for Liam, Brendan. Is that Liam's first? Sorry? Oh, no. Is that Liam's first?
Yeah.
No, that's the second. I'm not a gear. Gracie was the first one, Grace. I don't know what he's going to call this week. But looking forward. It's very healthy, good weight. So mother happy too. So they're all good. You know.
What the first cocktail's gonna be?
You probably do a pink lady.
Oh, okay.
No, I just guessed. That's my go-to to the gin.
I've got my ice ball. So.
Do you make that yourself, Louise?
It's not clear. I know it should be clear, but did it last minute. So.
Oh, pretty nifty.
I need some protein to do this Belfast coffee, but I don't have any.
Try it with a rum.
Adrian doesn't have it.
You only go with 20 mil. Try it with a rum, but go with 25 mil.
Brett, I found your Belfast coffee yesterday.
Hey, Johnny asked us for coffee so we could prepare some cocktails for his friends. I got into the car for the first time since before Christmas, and I said this week, the package that was there. What the hell is that? And it's in Johnny's handy on it, so I know this very well. Good idea. It was just Johnny done it all himself. We just sold him bottles of Apache and duty paid. I haven't tasted it yet, so I'm going to taste it. I'm going to taste it tonight. I'm waiting for mine as well. It hasn't arrived yet. I have to text Johnny and thank him, because I didn't know about it till last night. No, they've done a good job. Fair play to them. They really have. We had no idea either what he was doing. Is that Charlie in Norway down the corner? Hey, Charlie, how are you?
Hello, good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all good. Happy Christmas to you.
Happy Christmas. It's great to see you. Kind of face to face.
Did you open that bottle yet? I hope you did.
I haven't, because there's been too much going on. But I will possibly tomorrow. No, tomorrow is perfect day.
Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the perfect day to open it.
Yeah, I got it. And tomorrow night. You'll like it.
Are you doing a Belfast punching run anytime soon?
You know, there was meant to be 24 bottles for Christmas, but Stephen McGuinness forgot to pack them. So I'm calling him out live.
Fired.
Yeah, no, we were meant to pack them before Christmas, but it didn't happen, so I guess I could probably get them up this weekend. I know Stephen's in Dublin and they're coming back up on Sunday, so I could probably pack them and have Stephen pack them.
Oh, if you're doing it, I'm up for one or two.
Yeah, right.
Can I get one as well? Put me down. Louise has one. Do you want to share?
Louise?
She has one.
I'm an only child. We don't share.
No.
Sorry.
Here.
But sorry, not sharing.
Did anybody try that Glenfiddich?
When did this turn into Whiskey Club?
Oloriso.
This is a cocktail club he's talking about.
Look, Louise, Adrian.
John, you just need to change your back. You just need to change your background, John.
Wait on a second.
Louise, have you tried it yet?
Tried what?
The wee bottle of Glenfiddich.
Oh, yes.
Is this Whiskey Club now? I need to drop off.
No. It's cocktail club. Cocktail club.
What was that?
Cocktail club, yeah.
Ray's about to drop off because it's Whiskey Club. No, it's Cocktail Club. It's not Whiskey Club.
Like the sound of that.
I do love my cocktails too, so I can't
Well,
say.
Ray, if you remember now for the next 12 months.
Huh?
You remember now for the next 12 months? If you're gin testing?
Fuck's sake. Oh, man, that's all I need. I'm already going to be in rehab after this Christmas. Last thing I need to be a member of. I created my own cocktail lounge in my own home because I was so frustrated at not being able to get out anymore. I spilled awful often it. Having my own cocktail lounge. That's how bad it got. Louise, you have a cocktail lounge? Yeah. I've got a full. This used to be my dining room, and it's now basically become an entire cocktail lounge. With like full bar, the whole 9 yards.
What do you say? She hasn't got it up yet, but whenever you see the neon sign that I got her for Christmas.
Yeah, there's like the little tiny martini one, but I have like the full cocktail sign that is. If I actually should have a photo, I'll show you. But yeah, cool. Cocktail sign. Like, if I turn.
Who needs music?
Donna.
Use them all.
Can't believe I thought Brendan had like a piece amongst his whiskey collection. That's so random. I'm always showing us some like, if you buy these
and I was like, Brendan either has big peas or big Pete, which is it? P-E-A and P-E-A.
Yep. The big Pete. Alright, there, big Pete. Big Pete. Loads of big Pete.
You can't actually see me now. It's all going through the different colours.
You leave them sleeping overnight, you know, keep you getting regular.
Honest to God, I genuinely, because if you look at them, they're like in a blue. Look, that's a blue bottle, and like a peas are in a blue tin. So I was like, that's 5 a day, and amongst just whiskey. What's going on?
Jonathan, we cracked this one open the other day, and as you can see, we really enjoyed it.
Which one is that? Alright, we'll try. 12-11.
But,
it's good Christmas. Was that the 18-year-old brand or the 20?
This is wood two open. This is the. No, it's not the 20. It is the 18.
Hey, darlings, I got a late Christmas present. This arrived today.
Which is that the one, man?
Yes. It just came in the mail yesterday morning.
Very good. I've got the 20 for tasting on New Year's Day. Is it in the premium Irish sport or what's it in? The Castrip. The Castrip. I've got a bottle of it. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm having a taste of it on New Year's Day. I want this one.
Louise, what about you yesterday morning at 2 o'clock? With already sitting there with a huge cocktail.
Yep.
What was in that anyway?
At what time? Yeah, I was in by the end of that night. Honestly, I conked out. I think about quarter to 9 last night. I ate my dinner and then passed out on the sofa.
Louise, what time did you start?
It was 2 o'clock.
Good.
She wasn't even drinking any of the stuff that was on the thing. She was just drinking her own.
Yeah, good. Champagne the whole time.
I don't know where you're
Christmas.
Of course. Just over the crowd.
Louise can put me to shame.
Good shit.
Let me try and drink me.
Another hour and a half. Once we all finished, Daniel and I were on for about another hour and a half on top of that, chatting and drinking. It was like, oh my god, seriously.
Right, is anyone okay? So just for 2 seconds, I'm going to be making a drink. It's called the Tango. Okay, so it's called the Tango, and I'm going to be using some gin. I need to decide what gin I'm going to use, but I think I'm going to go with. No, I think I'm going to go with the.
Product placement, Brenda. Product placement.
I'm going ahead and do my own.
I'm actually going to go with the. I'm actually going to go with the Ecklinville gin.
Oh!
You use that in a cocktail?
Brenda,
you don't use that in a cocktail, for fuck's sake. You don't use Ecklinville in a cocktail. Why would you do that?
Ecklinville in the cocktail. Don't worry about that. Okay.
Too precious.
Something else that's worthy.
Don't bruise the gin.
Come on, you don't even drink Ecklinville. It's too late to drink. You just smell it and bask in its glory. You don't use it in a cocktail.
I'm going to use some of this. It's called Pessoa, which is a passion fruit liqueur.
Passion fruit.
You had that out yesterday as well.
I did for the rum. Yeah, for the rum.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I need some syrup. So I've got a little bit of strawberry syrup. Yeah. And look, it's the candied strawberry one. Oh, you can't go wrong with that. Get that in.
Or you just making it up to go on, or have you actually done this out?
No, it's called a Tango. No, it's a real cocktail. You can go and have a look at it. If you type in Tango cocktail, I'm sure you got the thing. Yeah.
I have the sugar syrup in the same company, so.
And what if you don't have these ingredients? You just
I need my grapefruit. Wow, this is for me, Maria.
Pour it all in a bottle together and just drink it. There's something called an infinity bottle.
I've got some cucumber tonic and lime.
This is an infinity bottle.
Louise, do you have all the ingredients?
Most of them, I think. But I've just went ahead and made my own. So I've got.
I'm doing that too.
So I've got some Ninth Wave. I have some cucumber tonic from Fever Tree, and then just a little bit of lime, just kind of bring it around.
Sorry, we've seen a Buzz Thunder. He's like cocktailing away up there. We can't see him. What are you in? What's that?
If anybody has vermouth and Jagermeister, make a Negroni that way. That's all we'll say.
I'm drinking gunpowder mixed with elderflower tonic and Prosecco.
Oh, I like what you think.
The way you have vermouth and Jagermeister there.
I have
Paul, I'm telling you a little secret here. Something that I've recently come up with. Swap out Campari for Jägermeister in a Negroni. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I'm not a massive
Honestly,
fan.
no, Jägermeister in a Negroni, why not?
I had a bad experience with Jägermeister. Jägermeister used to be the drink of choice for the Volkswagen crowd.
Was in Thompson's by any chance? He had a bad experience in Jägermeister?
No, it was a Volksfest over in England. But I drank a rather large night of Jägermeister.
That would explain it.
No. It's ruined for me. It used to be my favourite drink, but no, I ruined it.
We all have one of those drinks that we've ruined for ourselves through excessive drinking. Bacardi and tequila are mine.
WKD for me.
Okay. Oh, I could live on orange WKD.
WKD ever.
You want Louise?
I never WKD ever.
Oh, come on, what about before 18? That's what you're drinking.
I know it's so bad.
She drank Prosecco.
Louise, you need a 1 litre WKD and a Barrack Buster and get up to the playing benches. There you go. Go rekindle your
persona. Come on.
To do that, Jamie.
Have you really never had it at all?
No, I really haven't.
Sometimes if I'm like really hungover, the thought of blue WKD tickles my fancy, but it's complete shit. But no, Louise, you have to try it to say you've tried it.
It has to be original. It has to be Iron Blue WKD.
Oh, they're free.
I started drinking Iron Brew. I'm old, so I started drinking Iron Brew WKD before it was popular. I lived with that stuff when I was.
They just continued it, so that's just possibly how old you are.
I lie because I did an experimental cask series that Paul did for Belfast Whiskey Week, and one of the whiskies was finished with WKD Blue. Those
I have
The Belfast one was
better, yeah.
It was
Right, I'm on my first cocktail. As I told you, it was called a Tango, which
that's a nice glass, Paul.
That's a Moscow Mule glass, is it not?
That's class.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's totally a Moscow Mule glass.
How about the shit out with ice?
It's in the ice. Ice is in there, boys. Big chunky ice.
Is that for copper?
That was really good. Oh my god, the grapefruit. And with the soda.
Is that a copper glass, though, Paul?
Yeah, it's a copper. Yeah.
That'd be perfect for a Moscow Mule.
Yeah, I know. Here, quality. Okay, so I'm going to drink that. The next one I'm going to go for, okay, which will be easier for people because they're more likely to have these ingredients specifically to hand.
Gin and tonic.
Yeah. So gin.
Different types of tonic right now.
So this one's pretty simple. Okay. This one is pretty simple. We're going to just go with gin. So tell me what gin I'm going to go for.
Lime and ginger.
See if you use up that dolman.
Short cross, no.
See if you use the Martine one and make it not taste of seaweed.
Oh.
Gunpowder.
Oh.
No,
not that.
Gunpowder or what was the other one?
Gunpowder, yeah.
On the bun. Gunpowder.
Gunpowder.
Method Madness, maybe the gunpowder, yeah.
Go with gunpowder, right? So.
Method Madness is nice enough by itself for me. I'd go gunpowder.
Yeah, we're on the gunpowder. There we go.
Right.
It's a good
what else do we need?
I think.
So then what we need, okay,
There.
we need some.
What was that shot? That was like 25 mils. Come on.
Who's like that?
35. You're in the north.
Freaking Jesus saw that.
That's 35.
Look at that tiny little thimble of gin he put in that.
That's 35 mil.
Adrian, you.
That is not 35 mil. That's 35 mil my
measure.
ass.
That's a
That
measure.
is 25.
Paul, that is not a 35 mil.
No, this is also 25 mil.
Hold on, cheeky bugger.
That wasn't even a 25 mil measure. That looked more like a 15, Paul.
Paul, that's a 25 mil.
No, there's the 25 mil. That's the 35 mil.
Yeah, that must be Scottish measures.
Real Scottish measures.
You're all blind. Fuck off.
Oh, that's there. That's there. 25 mil.
Which is a gunpowder.
Yeah. So we're going with the gunpowder, and then we're
That's
going to go
25
for.
mil. That's 50 mil.
I've
Well,
got some.
how convenient is that? Look, I went to get me gunpowder to make a cocktail.
Got some elderflower.
Disaster.
So, I'll have grapes. I was like, number 29, let's pour it out. It seems like that's all already.
Powder to make something that went wrong.
What you got, Paul? Elderflower?
Elderflower, yeah. Elderflower cordial, yeah. Okay, and it's asking for some lime juice. Squeeze the wee bugger in there. Get yourself in there. Right? Okay, and then I'm going to use. Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm going to use the Belfast tonic water. Yeah, Belfast tonic water. Super.
Where can Belfast tonic water go?
Sorry.
Where can you get the Belfast tonic
So
water?
this is Longbridge. So if you want some, Michelle, drop it into you right now.
Well, not actually right now. Like it.
Right this second.
You want? Want me to drop it in just now?
I'm just wondering where you can get it from. We're drinking Fever Tree at the minute.
No, this is you can get it in the vineyard.
I'm on the Fever Tree as well, but
you want?
I have had that
Michelle.
Longbridge, and it's very good as well.
Michelle, I'm just going to leave some on the wee wall just now. You can come and get them. I just 2 seconds.
Okay. Clementine. I'm looking forward to trying. So
we are the attached house. For anyone.
Why you not just like tell them to give the cocktail? No, don't give them extra. Get them to give me some of the cocktail. The cocktail. What about the mixer?
If you do, here, just do a crossover. If Michelle goes into Paul's house and vice versa.
Yeah. Michelle probably make cocktails better than Paul can.
I'll have to give him if I'm honest.
here we all know I'm the cocktail queen.
Charles makes very good cocktails, does he not? He makes a really good Belfast coffee.
That is very, very true.
Guys, what is your recipe, Charlie? Before I go to, for service.
After 8 p.m. You shouldn't have been outside. It's after 8 p.m.
That's faster.
Paul, what's the curfew?
What are you doing? What are you doing, Richard?
Medical needs only.
Richard, what's that? Your drink? What is that bottle?
Fever Tree Lemon Tonic.
Oh, Fever Tree.
Lemon into your ear.
Lemon and limes.
Where'd he go?
Which one did you want?
Paul's weird again.
Again.
It's weird because I've also got the YouTube going in the background and it's like lag by about 10 seconds. It's like disappears. It's like, where he goes?
Like, what the fuck? So can you pick up this Longbridge stuff in like an Offie or anywhere local in Belfast?
It's in the vineyard. It's in a couple of places in Belfast. Yeah.
Ah, cool. Okay.
Is he in the Marcus George's Market as well?
Yeah, he's in George's Market.
Used to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, that's where he is. Yeah, he's still in there. So Wayne's a good guy. I like this stuff. This to me is what you should be drinking. Forget your Fever Trees. Honestly, once you start drinking this, you'll forget all that crap.
I know it's said before, but the Longbridge ginger ale and Brandy's hot chain is just perfect together. It's an absolute match made in heaven.
Brandy, you're eating again. Eating again? What have you got now? Is that a curry? It was toast earlier.
I'm so jealous.
That's a bag of peas.
You're getting one hand, Chris in the other. Go on.
He's sucking on this bag of peas now.
There's the best combination right there. Jaffa cakes.
That's why are there any left? Why would you not eat them all?
can't open a packet of Jaffa
This is a big
cakes
box for
in
them.
the box. You work his way through the box. All right, okay, fair enough.
Triple pack all the way.
You can't open a box of like finishing them, let's be honest.
Okay, so and there's my wee
What's
bit.
brand
And there's my wee mint leaf
That's what I
here.
have to know.
We also have the high class biscuits.
Oh yeah, of course.
No, what's Brent eating?
Space cookies and crisps.
What?
He can't even talk. His mouth's full.
Are those bacon fries?
Oh, wait,
Mark's bacon
That
fries,
is
aren't
not
they?
bacon fries.
Recognize them?
I used to deliver those in the bar I used to work at.
Paul, is that a red breast glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that, Paul? What did you just make?
Yes,
What
my
has-
Brent is when Brent was eating Mark's bacon
Okay.
fries.
In cocktail in a whiskey glass. That's sacrilegious.
Sorry?
Is it?
What about an old fashioned? Come on.
What are you on about?
Right. In night, not whiskey night.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I've got some aromatics there and some sugar and whiskey, so I'm definitely going for an old fashioned.
Fresh lime.
I'm pretty sure I've seen some buffalo Chris there, my friend.
Fresh mint leaves. Yeah. Elderflower, cordial, lime,
Yep.
Buffalo Trace.
tonic water, and a wee sprig of mint there, and a lime wedge. Yeah, that'll do it.
I thought you could have brought me in one of those.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Missed out. Oh, make another one in a jar, bring it across.
I actually could do that, couldn't I?
Central Caring.
There's a whole business model sitting right there for you to capitalize upon, Paul.
Listen, we've got
I need alcohol.
a beautiful
You're
community.
mighty.
I guarantee there's a whole community up here. See if I was to go around every door and just drop a drink off, they'd love it. They're alcoholics.
Yeah.
I love it. Delivering it down the country.
Cocktail keg and soda, just like, yeah.
Do you know what? Honestly, make that. That's quality stuff. That.
What was it again, Paul? Everyone else was yakking over the top of you.
So it was lime juice, gin, lime juice. Now you could use an elderflower liqueur. I used an elderflower cordial, just okay, and then I used a squeeze of fresh lime, mint, and yeah, that was it. I mean, it's pretty simple as that. Like, you know what I mean? Really, really nice. The tonic water,
nice and sharp.
Yep, nice and sharp. So the last one I'm going to make up is I'm using this here. So I'm going to be using which is the Belfast. So this one here is the Belfast Raspberry and Rose. Now I didn't give you that, and Tom, sorry about that. Only had a couple of these left, but I'm going to use this along with some fresh raspberries. Okay, so my fresh raspberries, and I'm going to use a raspberry liqueur. Yep, and some lime juice. So that's my plan. We're going to see how this one comes out. Okay, but that was really nice. I'm going to use my beautiful big glass for that. Yeah, I like that. So
you got a shaker as well. Wow.
Yeah, man, I've got the whole thing. I mean, there's no bollocks about.
Yeah. I'm saying nothing. It's like you have to work the equipment.
No bollocks about here. So this is a lovely here raspberry liqueur.
Well, what's your quantities?
For this, just because I'm free pouring, this would be
just pour as much as you can.
This would be two gin, one liqueur. So 2 gin, 1 liqueur, and so whatever measurements you want to go in that, and then if it was 1 liqueur, it's slightly less on the lime juice. So we're going to have a wee squeeze of fresh lime in here. We want about 6 fresh raspberries, and then we want probably just about to top this up once this has been shaken. Probably about 2/3 of this bottle. That's probably what we're going to do.
So you say 50 mils of gin, probably 25 mils of the liqueur, 20 mils of lemon juice, and then lime juice, and topped up with the tonic.
Yeah, that's it. That's the plan, John. That's the plan.
What gin did you use, Paul?
Sorry?
What gin did you use?
No, I haven't picked one yet. Right, so this is interesting. I've been thinking, and what I'm thinking about going with, I was actually thinking about going with the Armada. I was thinking about going with that.
That's pretty heavy going.
Yeah.
Right, Jen, like rocket fuel.
I'm thinking about going with Armada for this one. Literally putting some rocket fuel into it. Like, you know what I mean? So that's my plan.
Yeah, I think there's just
look into it.
Out of the gin, but you can't take the whiskey out of him. Set as fire. Better another one in. That's only one shot. That's a half a shot.
I'm going back. Here, wise up.
Airball. It's Christmas ball. Put a third in.
That's not crazy.
That's right.
Does this one have a straw, Paul?
Sorry?
Does this one come with a straw?
Sorry, it's fine.
Oh, do you know what? No, I'm not using a straw.
Just gonna fall even the floor, so it would be fine. So you just showing off now your fancy straws. We had to go all over Belfast to get rose-coloured straws for Louise's cocktail lounge.
Really?
Oh, Louise, you have rose-coloured straws?
Yeah. Rose gold.
Does not.
Do you? It does, hey. It really does.
Everything to match with Inchwood's life.
No way.
We went to Newton Ours, didn't we?
Yeah.
Find them. We had it with every single place in Belfast, and we had to go to Newton Ours to get them.
Yeah.
Even Nesbitt's or whatever you call it, across in Castlecourt, do some really good rose gold copper stuff.
I haven't been in it. Well, I've been in that place, but I haven't been in since lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the place that does all like the cooking stuff and everything else.
Yeah, if you walk in, and as soon as you walk in, turn right, and the first aisle on the right's all the bartenders.
So what are you drinking out of now? What are you drinking out of now? Rose gold straws?
Rose gold in a rose gold glass. I don't know,
No, it's actually like a bubble kind of. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but it's like a bubble iridescent finish.
A bubble like your straw.
Straw and my ninth wave gin and my Fever Tree cucumber tonic and my lime wedges and my wine.
Yeah, you're 3 Paul's Thunder. One Paul, top it off.
Nothing.
Did you freeze that thing?
I did, I.
Frozen.
No, that's good. Watch this. No, watch.
Oh, what are you doing?
Oh my! Oh!
Make us puppy over here.
You like that?
Yeah. Hold it up higher so we can see it on the camera.
Yeah. That's bad.
That's really good.
Just in my side?
Get your straw, Paul. If that was alcohol, you'd be dead.
So yeah, super.
Is that ginger or tonic, Paul?
This is the raspberry. This is the raspberry and rose. I didn't have enough to give to you, Michelle. I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
Apologies.
Paul, what cocktail are you going to do with prosecco?
Oh, I've got prosecco here. I know. Well, I've got like a rosé. I've got a wee rosé. I don't know.
Go French 75.
I don't know.
Because I've got some here. So what do I need to mix with it?
Louise.
Yeah.
Go for French 75.
Oh, I love a French 75. It's one of my favorites. Absolutely love that.
Anyway, Paul was saying nice going to the bar and make up a cocktail. Louise going to the bar was like, I want this. What's the one? What's the one you always go into the Albany that don't do anymore?
Oh no, the Albany do the fish house punch. That's my favorite rum cocktail. I love a fish house punch. So good.
Can't get it. You have to go and look up a book, try and figure out what that cocktail is now.
It's real. There was a guy that used to work in the Albany. I'm not sure what his real name is, but his nickname was Gaz, and he always made the most amazing fish house punches. It's it's a rum and cognac based cocktail. So damn good. So good. But it's changed hands now, and I don't think they know how to. Even the last couple of times we were in the Albany before it shut down, they didn't make it to the. It just wasn't the same.
Gaz works in what do you call it now? Ryan's bar.
Ah, great.
Isn't it Ryan's bar at the bottom of Lisburn Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Gaz went to Ryan's bar.
Did he?
Where can I get locally?
Who's that?
Michelle?
Yes,
Michelle. Where can I get Ninth Wave locally?
All good independent off sales, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, and wine trucks. Yeah, because it's only listed in Northern Ireland, Tesco's won't list regional products like that.
Alright, okay. I'll get next time I'm in.
Tesco's,
Sainsbury's. Or you can go down to Temple and get them there.
Where?
Let me in!
They're not open. I asked that looking for the...
Open now, aren't they? You're open now.
Adrian, we only opened for a couple or like 2 weeks, basically, just before Christmas. Terry just wanted to make some money. That's the only way.
We're looking for their wine whiskey box, but they're closed currently.
The 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really nice.
I've already sorted that out. That's so good. That's so good.
Did you get it sorted?
Yeah, sorted that out.
Can add in a bottle of night.
Would you want a bottle of Ninth Wave as well?
Yeah.
If I had the keys, I would do it.
So yeah, so look at that. Look at that. Looks pretty, doesn't it?
Wow.
That looks up.
Here, don't forget to hold up the other camera, Paul. We can't see it.
Well,
Adrian's just a director here, Steven Spielberg in the background. Don't forget Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, that's still running here, you know.
Is there anybody watching it?
Yeah,
one person, me.
It's called Adrian.
Don't forget to subscribe and like, please.
No, I don't do
Subscribe
all
and
that.
like.
Here, Jimmy, don't do all that.
Give it a like.
Yeah, watching it on maybe curse away.
You don't need to, I'm not really fussed if you do that. I'm not caring about that.
As they can watch back as well.
They don't see us, they only see Paul.
Yeah, you can't see your face,
What
Maria.
Brendan say for a better reassurance? They can watch it back as well.
Yeah.
They can hear it.
They can already hear it, but they can't see it. Alright.
Oh, can they not?
They don't see us.
You can tell Paul what sort of medication he needs if you want for his heart. It's just a voice.
They can still hear us.
So they can't see us, right? Okay.
No one can see you. They can hear you, but they can't see you.
That's all right.
Just about.
Ah.
Charlotte, what's your favorite cocktail?
I don't really do cocktails. Interest.
Belfast coffee, obviously.
Yeah, Belfast. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not doing. I mean, I would go in and just ask if a cocktail bar, just ask them for recommendations and try them, you know. But I just go. I don't do gin Friday night, so anything just without gin in it. So I normally go for rum or whiskey cocktails.
What's your favorite whiskey cocktail then? What's your favorite whiskey cocktail?
I can't just the usual ones.
Hard to do.
I probably whiskey sour. You know, I just find whiskey sour to be a nice change from straight whiskey.
Charlotte.
I'm
whiskey sour.
Yeah, I mean the whole cocktail. I don't know. I just I do that cocktail. What do you go for?
Charlotte, whiskey sour. I recently came across a Bordeaux sour. Have you ever had one?
No.
Make a whiskey sour and top it with red wine. Bang on.
Okay.
Absolutely brilliant.
Really?
Sounds like a bit of fun.
Yeah. Basically, we were coming up with cocktails for the restaurant at the distillery, and I had heard of a Bordeaux sour but never tried it. And we took Kerry's wine and the whiskey and made one, and it works. So it's on the menu now.
Jimmy, can I ask, is Terry's wine available locally?
At the distillery is the main place, but the likes of Carlisle's and Ballyhinch, McGee's and Crosscar.
Listen, thanks very much. You guys can watch this back at any point. Doesn't really bore me if you do. You don't. I've had good fun. I hope the viewers have had good fun. So I'm going to take yourself off Facebook and YouTube. Thank you.